It is 6:01. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer. Thursday night football. The Minnesota Vikings nearly blew a 29-point lead, but held on to defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 36-28. The Steelers nearly scored a touchdown on the last play of the game, but Harrison Smith dislodged the ball from Pat Freiermuth to secure the victory. Dalvin Cook rushed for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns in his faster-than-expected return from a shoulder injury. Vikes are 6-7. Steelers are 6-1 and will host the Titans next Sunday. Speaking of the Titans, they claimed linebacker Zach Cunningham off waivers from the Houston Texans. The former Vanderbilt standout had a career-high 164 tackles last season, the second highest total in the NFL. And the Nashville Predators defeated the New York Islanders 4-3 last night. Eli Tolvanen scored with 11.5 seconds remaining to lift the Preds to the victory. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
How much I gotta spend for you to pipe down?
He's back.
What's happening? J. Martin Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. This is why I tweeted out what I tweeted out on the drive-in.
What did you tweet out?
Tweeted out my console in my car showing Drake's pipe down, saying, that's what I was listening to on the way in, see if I could deal with you two idiots.
No.
How deep I gotta dig for you to pipe down?
What were those noises from, Jason, that I played?
I have no idea.
Okay. It will forever be known as the 807 mark in show history.
He's a cousin Hightower. He's in the zone chat already. He said I was about to say 807.
We're going to pour one out every day at 807.
Drop. Moan's like, this is the greatest drop. No, it isn't.
The greatest drop. Today it is. I got a mixed board at home, Shafe. I could.
Oh, I know you could. Like, I was listening to that yesterday. I'm like, I can drop a beat on either one of those. What's up?
I'll drop a beat on you. It's J. Martin Ramon. Powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville. Got all the good feelings out at Toy Field. Now it's time to punch somebody in the throat.
Oh,
so I went to bed at 29-0. I didn't realize the Steelers actually made that a game last night.
Yeah.
'Cause I saw enough.
Wish they hadn't. I was ready to go to bed, dog.
It was 29-0. I thought I was safe.
I just saw the final play on ESPN. Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chase Claypool.
Ooh, no, that was Freiermuth.
Yeah, it's Freiermuth.
Ooh, that was close.
Oh, that play.
You know what? Tight end in that spot, you got to make that catch.
Yeah.
I know he's got two guys on him.
At some point, he will.
So, we can speak about it in larger context. Obviously, next game for this team is against your team, meaning the Titans. The season's not over for Pittsburgh, but they can't lose again, really. Maybe they can lose one more at the very end if things break, but their season, their playoff future, all rests on going on a little bit of a run for the next 3-4 games.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be at home, and you're going to be coming into their place, and they're going to be desperate. So that's either going to be the end of the Steelers, or that's just going to be a really, well, either way, it's going to be a war. That's going to be a tough ball game.
And they're finding themselves in a bad situation where this is the worst, especially when you want to go to the playoffs too. Like some teams, or some players, they just want to get the season over with. Like, it's true. Some guys just, look, I got my paragraph 5. Paragraph 5 is their contract. I'd love to go play longer, but I'm ready to go home. It's vacation time. It's been a long year. They've had to deal with COVID still. They've had to do with everything. And I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah. And then you got to rely on everybody else. You got to rely on being undefeated for the rest of the season, which is a task in itself, considering what that first half looked like. Dalvin Cook had how many rushing yards against them?
205.
205. There are defensive players, legends that play for the team up north that are flipping right now. 205 yards to one guy, unacceptable. And still lose on national TV in front of everybody, yeah, not good. But the scenarios that's got to play out, that's a long road to the playoffs. Got to make sure that you win and stay healthy. Got to make sure attitudes stay the same too. Hey, tough luck for the boys, man.
Yeah,
but it didn't look like it. They didn't warrant any sympathy last night at all.
I mean, 29-0. I didn't see the taunting penalty. I guess I'll need to look at that during the break. But,
he stood over him.
Watching the O-line, and the first thing I said to you was 51, and that was Trey Turner.
Yeah.
Had a bad night. 53 had a bad night.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger, the sack from Harrison Smith from behind, as he was broken in half, and before Roethlisberger even hit the ground, I looked over to Abby. I was like, he's hurt. I was like, that one hurt him. And then you saw, they even showed the still shot of his face when he was getting back up. He was every bit of 39 years old right there, and he knew he got blasted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had one extra guy coming free. It was Smith. Nobody was there to pick him up at all.
And I didn't even want to go back to look at the review of it.
It was bad.
You know, I saw it and I saw the replay, but I'm trying to figure out, that's a safety off the edge.
Yeah.
Now, unless they're doing that, see, I know too much. Unless they're doing a silly A protection to where they pop a lineman out to get the safety, it makes it impossible to do. If you're going to call a call to where you pop an offensive lineman and the safety's free off the edge and they still rush 5 up front, you're going to get somebody killed. And that's what happened last night. That was a safety off the edge like that against a veteran quarterback is never supposed to happen. Now, you can trick me by bringing a safety down deep the way Byard did against who was the last team they played? The way Byard did against the Patriots. You remember when Byard rushed up the middle to get the to get the sack? He came from depth to be on the line of scrimmage and to give a free shot. That is like the quintessential book, like by the book blindside hit that happened last night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you never, ever want that to happen. Where it looked like a car crash where the back is blown out and the head whiplash. Like that.
Something else that you noticed last night that I think we kind of already realized this. Kirk Cousins is not very good. Like,
Kirk missed the mark.
He missed Justin Jefferson twice on touchdowns.
Yeah, gang could have been 35.
It could have been way worse.
Yeah.
Like, he really didn't throw it particularly well to Jefferson in the end zone. They were trying to argue he got hit. That was a situation where, to me, I don't think that hit really affected the throw to the degree that they tried to say it did. And then he just totally overthrew him down the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cam Sutton, all due respect to the VFL,
love him.
He absolutely could not keep up with Justin Jefferson. Every time you looked up, 18 was just free with a cushion.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching Justin Jefferson, and we've watched him now for 2 years. It's possible within a year or so he's the best receiver in football.
He's going to be
disgusting.
one for sure.
He is disgusting.
Of the young group, is he the one that's got his crap together more than most?
Like, we talked, remember we joked about it?
Yeah.
We not joked about it. We said, would you take AJ or DK? And then we started saying, well, now you can add Justin Jefferson to that mix. You can add Chase Claypool to that mix. You can add a couple of these younger wideouts. Mm-hmm. I think at this point, certainly Jefferson gets added to that list, and he's better than DK Metcalf for my money.
Mm-hmm.
He's more consistent than DK Metcalf, and he's not volatile in the same way that DK Metcalf is. Health-wise, you're taking him over AJ right now because he's been available throughout his career for the most part.
The best ability.
But I think you could still mention all those guys. I think Michael Pittman probably needs to be mentioned more than he has been as he's become wide receiver 1 in Indianapolis.
You know, we kind of hate to say that here. That dude is going to be dangerous.
Pittman?
Yes.
Oh,
Pittman
yeah,
Jr.
yeah.
Again, beat this conference down while you can. Titans, like legitimate. Like I say that about Trevor Lawrence. Would you agree that Trevor at some point might get the coach that he's looking for?
I don't see any universe in which the Jags can bring Urban Meyer back. So the next hire they make will be the most important hire they've ever made in history of their franchise, because they've got to get it right to put Trevor Lawrence in the spot. Then they've got to actually start making some good free agent moves and bring in the right kind of people to make it work. The other guy you got to mention here is Jamar Chase, obviously.
Oh, for a
and
rookie?
Devontae's coming around. Jalen's coming around. Well, I mean, Devontae's been pretty good, but Jalen's starting to come around. But Jamar Chase is the other guy in the discussion in terms of
young guys
that could own the league.
That can own the league. Yeah, just watching Justin Jefferson, though, I'm looking at him and I'm like, and you know what? Sometimes we get in those predicaments as players. Like, you ain't going to quit, but today ain't my day. Last night, to your point, wasn't Cam Sutton's day. And what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself chasing those plays, chasing that scheme week after week after week. They're going to see that against the Titans. The Titans, if they don't do that scheme, that concept to where they ran one across and they basically picked them from a distance, that's the reason Cam got burned. He couldn't keep up with the speed of Justin Jefferson, and he got out-athleted. Like, that's the point of it all is sometimes people are just better at you. That's why technique's got to be good. That's why your help as far as defenders on defense has to be right there and good. You go man-to-man or play some type of two-man type of shell and you put a guy solo and they get mixed up in coverage, and you got a fast athlete like Justin Jefferson, ring it up. And again, to your point, Cousins missed.
He missed him twice.
Times.
One of them felt like it was a Joe Milton play.
Yeah, it did.
It wasn't quite that far past him. But, yeah, and I remember Charles Barkley saying this years ago. He was just like, I remember the first time I saw Jordan, and I was having, all-world performances and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, and I watched him, and I was just like, no, that guy's better than me. He said it was a humbling moment on a professional level when you're an elite athlete like that, where you just got to look up and just say, you know what, I'm good. That guy's better. That guy's insane. And just, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to do my thing. But that guy right there is special. Yeah. In a way that I can't do what he can do. Stuff like that. You watch Justin Jefferson and Cam Sutton, and you kind of see that moment where it's like, Cam's solid. Cam's a smart player. We've had him on the show before. We know what he did at the University of Tennessee in tough spots and all this. But Justin Jefferson is better than he is.
He is.
Because he's got athletic gifts that Cam Sutton just can't.
He's just born with it. He was born with it. And it was obvious last night, too.
It was, yeah.
Hey, one more L, it's a wrap.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, if you lose 7, we already said 10-7 could get you in if things break right when we did that yesterday. But it
Mona and I thought at the beginning of the year it'd be a 9-8 record. Now, obviously, they've got the tie, so it won't be that. But they are who we thought they were.
And that's what I told you, Moan. I told you yesterday, I said, I don't know exactly where it'll be, but they will not go 4-1 down the stretch. And they will not go 4-0 now.
Just for clarity, what did we say the record would be, just so I don't sound like a homer?
9-8.
Okay.
That's what you said. Well, you picked them third place in the division. You did.
We all did, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
615-737-1045. Mike Keith will be on the show today. Buck Reising, I think, is on the show today as well, if I saw it properly.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
We did the AFC yesterday. We might do the NFC today, and it's going to be even harder to try and figure out what the records are going to be, because I don't trust any of these teams, even worse than the AFC. But we'll come back and we'll talk about Zach Cunningham, because that's a thing that happened yesterday. How about them apples?
I know.
We'll be right back. Jay Martin, Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
Tighten up! Gas pedal!
We're nearing the end of 2021, and it has been a year. I'm sure most of you have experienced with the struggle with the supply chain due to COVID. I know I have, and it's the holidays, and we're finding out you just can't get some of the things that you normally could get. But my friends at 2 Rivers Ford have some great news for you. New inventory is coming in every single day. So if you're in the market for a new Ford, make sure you check out tworiversford.com daily and see what's arrived on the lot. If you want someone at Two Rivers Ford to contact you when the vehicle you're looking for is coming in, just give them a shout and they'll make sure to get you alerted. The salespeople at Two Rivers Ford, this is the thing. They don't work on commission, so you never have to worry about them pressuring you into buying anything. They're simply there just to inform you and make your day easier while you're on the lot. Also, if you know exactly what vehicle you want and you want to order it, Two Rivers Ford can do that for you too. They now have a Built For You program where you can order any model, any color with any available features. You can order your Ford today and get it delivered straight to your door when it is manufactured. There's a reason why my friends at Two Rivers Ford have been doing business for almost 40 years, and that's because they make the customer experience hassle-free, honest, and easy. So for all things Ford, reach out to the most trusted Ford dealer in Tennessee, my friends at Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people.
Welcome back, J. Martin Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. In June, he said this, quote, "I'm Demaryius Thomas. I finally came to a decision to hang it up. I'm going to retire, and I'm going to retire a Denver Bronco. I'm done, and I did well."
Yeah, you did.
Peyton Manning said this a little while ago. DT was a better person than he was a player, and he was a Hall of Fame player. That tells you how good a person he was. He treated my kids like they were his own. He was there for every teammate's charity event. Absolutely devastated. Unquote. Zach Cunningham coached Demaryius in 2018 in Denver. Said, "I'm so sad. I'm heartbroken. I'm at a total loss. I'm sick. I'm crying. I don't know. The Azani family will always love you, DT. I'm blessed to have known you. RIP number 88. Demaryius Thomas passed away at the age of 33 in Roswell, Georgia, at his home. His cousin, who's very close with him, said he had been suffering from seizures for about a year, and he had a seizure in the shower. And that was it.
Man, that sucks, though. Death hurts in a lot of different ways. But when you young, all right, so I'm going to speak from a personal sense, not the radio guy, a guy that feels this a little bit different. For me to see this, it's just of the mindset that you always got to take advantage of life, and you just never know what a person's going through. A person can be Superman to you and going through the worst of times in their lives. 33 is a young age for a guy that's done everything he has. A smart guy, went to Georgia Tech, graduated, played in NFL, lived out his dream doing that. Pro Bowl, all-pro guy, won a Super Bowl, made all the money in the world, and his life is gone just that quick. And I know some people are insensitive to it, well, it's life, and life just moves on. But for a guy like me to see him go through that this young in a similar field that I played in, and maybe it was his family dynamic, but we all got crazy family genetics and genes where you're like, man, hope I, don't pass that on. Hope I don't, have that curse. Hope I don't, have to go through that. And, I'm sure he's got a family and people around him to where they're going to be affected. One thing I always say about guys that's in the league, too, is you go from being a young boy in college, young man, to being the apex of your family, too. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy that, made really good bread, and he's probably coming from a less than family, like a lot of people in America. White, black, it don't matter. But he probably is the apex of their family, and they just lost that. I'm not sure what his family dynamic is as far as mom, dad, granddad, seniors and stuff like that. But I guarantee you they've lost one of their biggest leaders in their families. And I hate that this happens to young athletes, because when I saw that last night, I was like, golly, I know the narratives that's going to be painted. It's going to be football did it, or his life did it, and, the hard hits that he had. And recently, the death of Paris Harrison, the VFL, his was in his sleeping aneurysm, I think is what they were saying that was behind it. And I just think to myself, man, Lord, just bless us all of us, athletes and non-athletes, and you just hope that you get to see people that you know and appreciate, whether you know them personally or not, live longer. There's a lot that goes into the sacrifices that you get. And like I said, the having experienced close death in my family while I played with my mom, I'm sure Demaryius was a guy that probably had the same mindset that I had personally. Like, man, when I retired, I want to enjoy. That's why when I do this job, I laugh. I have a good time. We're around each other outside of this building. I'm going to laugh and have a good time. Like, that's the thing about it. I tell people I'm here for a good time, because this type of stuff happens all too often, whether it's self-inflicted because of depression, or you got kids that go through this type of depression too, and you hear those stories. Like, embrace life. Have fun with it. Appreciate the people that are around you too, because this was a little scary for me. I was just like, how? Him?
Yeah.
Small, athletic guy, good health, it seemed like. And
Broncos said we're devastated, completely heartbroken by the sudden tragic passing of Demaryius Thomas. DT was beloved by our entire organization, his teammates and coaches, and our fans. As a fan of the Denver Broncos, I can tell you I was a huge fan of Demaryius Thomas, always will be. He said, recently retiring as a Bronco, we were very much looking forward to celebrating Demaryius for years to come as one of the greatest players in our franchise history. Demaryius' humility, warmth, kindness, and infectious smile will always be remembered by those who knew him and loved him. He would have turned 34 years old on Christmas Day with Demaryius Thomas. And to your point, I started thinking about this as you were talking. The people that you look up to, that you see as heroes, that you feel, man, they've got it together, man. Look at the car they're driving. Look at all this. Nobody has it together.
Nope.
Everybody has stuff going on behind the scenes that's got them dogged out that they feel like they're not going to be able to overcome. The people that you have looked up to the most, or the people that you sometimes look around, man, I wish I was that guy. I don't know that you do.
Right.
You almost never do. And this is, I heard this years ago, and I've always thought about this. If you are a believer and you're in church on Sunday mornings, I know this feeling. Sitting there in the pew and thinking, I'm the only one that shouldn't be here. Everybody's sitting here silently, but my mind is elsewhere, and it's on things that it shouldn't be on. And I'm selfish. I'm not hearing the pastor today. I'm singing, but I'm just going through the motions. When it's time to pray, I don't have anything to say. I don't know. Like, I shouldn't be here. I'm not worshiping today. All I can do is sit here. But all these other people are getting this message. I'm not getting this message at all. Well, this is how it was said. The reason people come to church on Sundays is because every single person in every single pew feels the same way that I did every Sunday, and the same way that you do when you're in there and say, I shouldn't be here. That room is a collection full of sinners, not a collection full of saints. Mm-hmm. Every single person feels like they're the one that shouldn't be there, the one that's phony, the one that's not living the life. Every single person has the same thing. And so I don't know what the challenge is for you, but I promise you, whoever it is that you look at and you're just like, man, just waltzing through life. Nope. Something's wrong. Something behind the scenes is wrong, because that's just the way a broken world is. Mm-hmm. Every family's got issues. Everybody's got health concerns. Everybody's got addictions or vices or all of this kind of stuff. So I think that that's an important point, because we look at these guys playing football. We look at these guys making all this money. We look at these guys with a certain amount of Twitter followers. We look at these guys with a ton of engagements and all this other kind of stuff. And we just assume that life is one thing for them and it's another thing for us. A bank account does not equal immense happiness. There's a lot of people that make less money than you do, mm-hmm. and are probably a little happier than you are.
Less stress.
Because there's less on them, there's less pressure, or money doesn't have the same level of value and things of that nature. So that there's times when I feel way too materialistic, and then all of a sudden I want to get rid of 3/4 of the stuff that I have, because I realize when I'm on vacation, it's not like I'm calling back home and saying, hey, can you show me a photo of my DVDs or all this other kind of stuff. It's like if I'm ever apart from Abby and Claire Grace and I talk to them, I'm just going to want to see them. Mm-hmm. It's the people in your life, and that's why you look at Demaryius Thomas, you look at this situation, you look at, as you talked about Paris that day when that happened, and we talked about that. You got to make sure, and that's why we talk about giving flowers and all this other kind of stuff, and that's why we don't take this show too seriously, and certainly ourselves too seriously, because if there's one goal that we have, if there's one job, if there's one calling to this, if there's a reason why I feel like I was asked to do this for some reason, it was to entertain and to help you escape, and to just remind you that we might have microphones, but we're all the same. Mm-hmm. And we all hurt the same, just like we all cheer the same.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's a tough spot to be in for his family. His mom is his family. They're hurting from that. And again, if you don't do it today, that cousin you're arguing with, that auntie, that uncle who can't get on the same page, let this be a point to where you're like, you know what, it's not worth it. Because all that's going to happen after the fact is, man, I wish. And, you know, for a guy I saw up close and personal, Demaryius Thomas, man, rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family. If you got somebody on your line that you hadn't called, want to call, should call, go see them. do that. 33 is far too young. Like, you joke like, he's younger than me, and that hits different. I see my kids different because there's a guy that was younger than me. Like, I was older in the league when he came in, and so watching that, I couldn't imagine. And this organization here, the Titans, have dealt with some of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, we beef with all each other as far as fan bases go. But when something like this happened, I don't think anybody's laughing and saying good for them or I hate. Like, if you're a fan of the game, you feel this too.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoy this Friday, man. Embrace life, celebrate your people, and just today, if it was Demaryius Thomas's point to bring this up so that we can enjoy the holiday season and appreciate each other more, like you said, because the money don't matter. I tell you guys all the time, that's for my wife and kids.
Mm-hmm.
I could care less about it. When I got to the point finally to realize, look, you can't take it with you. When you get a certain amount, guess what you want? More. If you get a car, guess what you want? Man, the new one's coming out in 2 years. It's all materialistic. Enjoy moments, enjoy families, enjoy friends, and have a good time. I'm going to laugh. You might hate my laugh, but we going to laugh and have a good time. We going to joke. You going to get on me and I'm going to get on you. That's life. Embrace one another, man, because, again, like I said, when stuff like this happens to football players, it hit me a little bit different because of the stigma around what we do in our sport.
Of course.
So, enjoy that. You got Zach Cunningham as a game this weekend. There should be a moment of silence for Demaryius Thomas because, hey, that was young, super young. So, that's my spiel.
And I think it's the same way. What you're saying about there should be a moment of silence. Consider this as a sports fan tonight when you're with your family, hopefully eating around the dinner table. Let whatever the troubles of today are pass. Let them go. They're probably not all that important, right?
No.
Sit there before your meal. And you don't have to pray for Demaryius Thomas's family or anything like that. Just pray that you would respect and appreciate the life that you have and the life that your family has. Pray that you would take advantage of it and live the way he would want you to live. Because I think that's the one thing that a lot of us forget is when we're praying for all the stuff that's going on, the challenges and all this other kind of stuff. We forget just to pray for the blessing of waking up every day and being able to actually take advantage of that and hopefully walk through life in the proper fashion more often than not. Let's go to Steve in Goodlettsville. He's on line one. Steve, what's up?
What's up, Steve?
Hey, guys. Enjoying y'all's conversation this morning, but just wanted to make a real quick statement. I'm 72, and I've gotten into a habit over the last, 5-10 years that if you come to mind, I get in touch with you. I go visit you if I call you or whatever. And there's been several people that had I not done that, I would have never seen or talked to them again.
Wow.
And as we walk by each other every day and you say, how are you? You need to pay attention. Look in their eyes and see, because there's a lot of times there's a real hard need there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you might be that person's last stop. So that, and I've got a group of men I meet with every week. And believe me, men need men. You need to have somebody who'll get in your face and say, what's up and what are you doing and how do I help? So take care. God bless. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Steve. Really good stuff. I would suggest to you, Steve, and to every guy listening, and this is something that I saw Brad Crawford comment on this. This is something I've been working on for the last few years, is finding a way to make this more real for guys out there. But one of the things that I think we have learned, and we are seeing studies back this up, is that guys in particular isolate.
Yes.
As adults.
What do I talk about all
We
the time?
bottle up, we stay away, we don't talk. We don't share anything. And look, A.J. Brown came out and said what he said a few weeks ago,
did.
right? And to Steve's point just now, Mike Vrabel said, if you ask somebody how they're doing, be willing to listen to them. Don't just say it as a meaningless statement as you're walking through, because that's what you're supposed to do. Actually look them in the eye and let them tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, have some group of people around you that you can go to that know you, that will hold you accountable when you're being a numbskull, and that you will hold accountable when they're being a numbskull, and that you understand the challenges that they're going through. Because, and this is a problem for me, I have lost a lot of friends in the last few years, whether by a show that used to be in this building no longer being in this building, and I've lost contact with somebody that I felt like was one of my closest friends at that time. I had another close friend that used to work in this building that moved to Arizona. Actually, I should say there's actually two people that left because of that midday show that would classify. One of them I'm still in contact with, thankfully.
Yeah.
But, Moan, you wouldn't understand this, but my challenge is in thinking about other people enough to send a message on a regular basis to people that I've been around for 20 years and saying, hey, man, how is life? How's stuff going? Not always just be like, hey, man, I need something.
Yeah.
I can go through an entire weekend, and I don't think you can relate to this, Moan. I can go through an entire weekend and not have a single message from anybody sent to me.
Dang.
Just because everybody's living life. Now I'm married with a child.
Yeah.
Life happens. I'm not staying in contact, but then I'll feel woe is me because they don't get in contact with me. Why don't I step out a little bit more often and try to build those relationships? Those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. Guys isolate. So let me just suggest something to you. If you are a guy out there, Stephen Mansfield has written a lot of really good stuff. He has a lot of good resources. He's got one book called Men on Fire that was an absolute game changer for me. And it's about really iron sharpening iron with the men that you put around you in your life and how you look at your life, how you look at your marriage, how you look at your role, how you look at you in every facet of your life, and certainly a huge faith-based component goes along with that. So I would tell you, Men on Fire by Stephen Mansfield, buy it this morning, and buy it for a man in your life, a friend that needs that kind of message. And I'll tell you this, whoever it is, they need that message. It's not just somebody that's going through something right now. The one that's got it the most together, buy it for him this Christmas. I let Abby read it after I finished it, and she said it blew her mind. I think that a lot of times there's a lot of resources out there for women. There's not as many for men. There's not the support and things like that just aren't there. Men on Fire by Stephen Mansfield. Check it out today. Buy it if you can. Get it for a gift. Put it in a stocking. Hand it to somebody. Be like, hey, man, I was thinking about you. I love you. I think this is a game changer for me. I hope it will be for you. Just keep that in mind. We'll come back. We'll talk about Zach Cunningham. Whole lot of sports to get to. It is J Mart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
Imagine if the first way we did things was the only way, just because that's the way we've always done it. That's what happens when you sell your home. You list your house and you have to keep it show ready because you never know when somebody wants to drop in for a quick look. Or you have dozen people marching through your home that may or may not be serious about buying. And I'm gonna be real with you. Most of the time they're not. They just want to see what the house looks like. And this goes on and on until the right buyer comes by. Well, that's all changed now. It's me, Ramon Foster, and I want to tell you what I did. I went to opendoor.com and I put in my address and home info, and I got an offer back in no time. It was no listings, no strangers, and no stress. Open Door gives you a real competitive offer in minutes. Just go to opendoor.com/WGFX and get your free offer. Open Door is the new way to sell with all the hassles of a traditional home selling. You'll know what you are getting. You can decide when you want to close, if you want to close. Go to opendoor.com/WGFX and get your free offer today. That's opendoor.com/WGFX. Offer eligibility varies, and Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage, Inc. License 02061130 in California, Open Door Brokerage, LLC in its other markets.
Welcome back, J. Martin and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Plenty of football to talk about on this show. We'll talk about Zach Cunningham as we get into the next hour of the program, and Diana Rossini and what she said about Derrick Henry, and another source that said, we'll see. Who knows? Who knows? But we were talking about Demaryius Thomas, who passed away at 33, seizure in a shower, had been dealing with seizures for about a year. He was a quiet guy. The more you read about him, he was a guy who wanted, he said his goal was, quote, everyday greatness, unquote, where he just kind of went about his business, understated, did his job, and let things fall where they may.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so you read the stuff that Peyton Manning says he's a Hall of Fame player and a better person. Manning doesn't just throw out Hall of Fame. He's saying that dude was one of the best receivers I had in my career. You think about who he played with.
I know.
Reggie Wayne, Harvin Marison, a lot of really talented guys. That says a lot. But we got into a larger context of just about, look, he's 33 years old and his life is taken away, and, appreciating life.
Yeah.
And living it to the fullest and treating it seriously, but also having an escape, a healthy escape. But most importantly, just having, especially if you're men, and I know a lot of our audience are men around our age or younger, maybe some are even older. We had a 72-year-old call in the last segment, talk about he has a men's group every week. I used to go to a men's group every Friday morning. Can't do it now because we're on this radio station. So our men's group is J. Mart and Ramon. And we sit here and we bust on each other. We also care about each other. Schaefer needed something. He knows I've got him. You need something. I've got you. Obviously, you've proven that you have us, and Schaefer has us, and all this. So we have this group, but so many guys just don't have that group of friends where they really know what's going on in their life, check in on them, make sure they're okay. If they need something, just listening to them, all of those kinds of things.
Right.
And how important it is to have that circle as a man. And so I suggested a couple of books yesterday to Brad Crawford. One is The True Measure of a Man, Richard E. Simmons III. I actually gave that to both of you last year around Christmas time. And Men on Fire by Stephen Mansfield, which I urge every guy listening to this to buy, as I just think it is one of the most important books that I have read in my life in terms of trying to frame just frame what it means to be a man today.
Yeah.
And how to live for your family and how to live properly and live for the Lord and all of these things that are sometimes forgotten about in the world of 24/7 social media and Instagram posts and people acting like idiots and political divides and viruses and all this other kind of stuff. Let's go to Tony in Gallatin on line one before we get to the top of the hour break. Tony, what's going on?
How y'all doing this morning, guys?
Good morning.
I appreciate you guys. I don't call into radio stations or anything, but your message this morning was a blessing to me. For the simple reason, I don't go to work every day because I love my job. So my job is fun. And I have a great working partner that's with us, Chris, and we get along great. And, my day-to-day is a blessing. I mean, 100% a blessing.
Yeah.
And listening to y'all talk about, and I agree, I'm 60 years old. I tell people all the time, slow down.
Yeah.
Don't run through life. Live the life. Thank y'all for your time, brother.
Appreciate it, Tony.
Appreciate that, Tony.
It's a good point. It's all true. I see Frostbite right now in the chat saying to me, actually, me and my childhood friends meet up at Shoney's once a month. We talk about everything. We also have a chat on Facebook, I Am, where we ask questions and work out stuff. I urge everybody to try to find that. I've lost that, honestly, over the last few years. And as you get older as a guy, it does seem like your friend list gets smaller, your wife's gets bigger. Abby's text message situation is out of control. Mine, I can actually put the phone away, and it's much easier for me because if somebody needs me, I can see it on the watch, but almost I don't get to all that much. It's just kind of different for men and women when it comes to communication. They're checking in on each other and all this. I think we've lost that because, I don't know, maybe we're just too in our own heads. We're just not prioritizing things right, and life gets in the way and all of that. But I do think that it's important that everybody has a circle of people that they trust. Even just walking outside yesterday, I talked to Ron for about 5 minutes. Yeah. I hadn't really seen Ron recently. Just Nothing big. Just chatted with him about a couple things. I know you came out and talked to him a lot more, but you have a much deeper relationship with him than I do. But it was just like more of that, please. And like more of stuff like that.
You know what's crazy about that meetup in the parking lot? We both needed a conversation to be had about our kids, about life in general, about the expectation. Like, I'll never forget one of my good buddies. I know we're up against the break, Chef. We're about to go. Alejandro Villanueva has seen life and death. Like, legitimately has seen that. And, when we get closer to retirement in the league, one of the conversations we had in the cafeteria, I'll never forget this. One was about the death of my mom, but other one was, what life is and what you got to do in retirement. Like, a lot of people break away, to your point. It's like, dog, life is enjoying people. It's experience. It's like what you make in life, money. What good is if you don't experience with your friends? It's like you got to have a circle in retirement. I took that to heart. I know who my circle is. I'm on my phone texting a lot. I check on my people. They check on me. We're going to joke. If I'm in a group chat, I'm probably acting a clown in it because I like to keep the group together. I like to make sure that, look, we're still friends. We still got life ahead of us. We still got a lot of enjoyment to look forward to. And appreciate that, man. Your circle. Get you on somebody you can call, especially guys. Women do this well most times. Talk. If they air out your business, so what? You probably needed to know it anyway, or somebody else might sympathize with that. And then you'll know that person ain't your friend no more, or you can't tell them everything. Your mental thoughts, get those out. Your emotions, your feelings, get that out. And I still work on that too. And I know you do, and Shafe and everybody else does. But with the passing of Demaryius Thomas, this has been the conversation piece.
It has been. So we hope that it's not like we came in here planning to talk about this.
No.
But we hope that the reason we talked about it was to help you. Whoever you are, I hope that there's somebody out there that this message was supposed to find you today. Let's just say that. We'll come back. We'll talk about Zach Cunningham. We'll talk about all the football. 615-737-1045. Jay Martin and Mo 1045 this hour. Hey, it's Jay Mart. Next time you're at home, I don't know if you've been noticing things that just seem a little bit off with your house, and maybe you're not an expert, right? I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to home improvement and all this, but if my doors and windows are starting to stick, or I'm noticing maybe that basement wall is not even, like, is it actually bowing? Is the chimney leaning? Is that my eyesight? Is it cracks in my bricks? Like, what exactly is happening here? Well, it could be possible foundation issues. And these are serious. They don't go away on their own. They can devalue your home. They only become more costly over time. You need to have an expert take a look at it, diagnose it, and get it fixed. And there is nobody better to do it than United Structural Systems. They've been right here in Middle Tennessee for over 25 years. Locally owned, not a franchise. Means they have time for you. They got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and have forever. Integrity and reputation, exactly what you would want, but they have time to customize a solution for you and your family, for your home right now, depending on your needs. When they tell you what's going on, you don't pay until they're done, which helps you out, but they're going to tell you, they're going to diagnose, they're going to tell you, look, you're not just seeing things. That is a serious problem for you, but here's what we can do. Here's what it will cost, but we're going to finish it. We're going to make sure that you are completely satisfied with the job we do before you have to pay. And I'll tell you, over 20,000 satisfied customers and counting with United Structural Systems can tell you this is the right phone call to place. Because, again, this thing doesn't just magically go away tomorrow. It's not going to go away until you do something about it. So call United Structural Systems today, 615-227-2275. That's 227-2275, or you can visit them online at ussTN.com, United Structural Systems.
It is 7:03. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer. Thursday Night Football. Minnesota Vikings nearly blew a 29-point lead, but held on to defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 36-28. Steelers nearly scored a touchdown on the last play of the game, but Harrison Smith dislodged the ball from Pat Freiermuth to secure the victory. Dalvin Cook returned from injury faster than expected, a shoulder injury, ran for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Vikes are 6-7. Steelers are 6-1 and will host the Titans coming up next Sunday. Speaking of the Titans, they claimed linebacker Zach Cunningham off waivers from the Houston Texans. The former Vanderbilt standout had a career-high 164 tackles last season, second highest total in the NFL. Former Denver Broncos wide receiver Demaryius Thomas was found dead in his home. He was 33 years old. A family member and former teammates said Thomas has been suffering from seizures, which is the likely cause of death. Nashville Predators defeated the New York Islanders 4-3. Eli Tolvanen scored with 11.5 seconds remaining to lift the Preds to the victory. Raleigh Foundation repair and waterproofing needs. Visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once. On over the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? Hour number 2, J. Martin Ramon, 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville. And trust matters. We hope you like to trust us, but trust All Four Seasons Garage Doors. allfourseasonsgarages.com/Nashville. Head there to learn all you need. We appreciate them. We appreciate all you as well. And by we, I mean 11-year NFL veteran involved for life, Ramon Foster, Jonathan Schaefer, and Jason Martin. At Ramon Foster, at Schaefer on Sports, at JMart Radio, at JMart and Ramon. You guys want to bear with me here for a second?
Go ahead. Do your thing, man. What you got going on?
I had somebody send this to me a little while ago, and it's long, but I actually think because of the conversation that we have had that spiraled off of Demaryius Thomas, but then kind of turned into men needing support systems in their lives and taking each other seriously, but taking each other's lives and paying attention when you ask somebody how they're doing and things like this. Well, this was sent, and it's long, but I was reading it during the break. It was sent by somebody I have tremendous amount of personal respect for and who's clearly a spiritual mentor in my life. And he sent this. He said that he was given this last week, and he thought of me listening to us this morning. And I want to read it, quite frankly, as long as it is. It struck me in a way where I think it's worth spending 5 minutes to read this. It says, last night at a late hour, 2 men unknown to each other sat brooding over 55 years of life. There are those moments when the proper ingredients of mood, time, silence, fatigue, accomplishment, and failure cause minds to gaze across the sweep of existence, playing a strange and ruthless game called What's It All About? Such ingredients being at the critical stage, my 2 friends were forced to begin to play. One man sat at his desk amongst paneled royalty in his private den. In such opulence, he thought the other rested calloused hands on a scratched kitchen table. No sound afoot except for the deep breathing of sleeping children in the next room and a humming wife preparing for bed. Tally the card, that part of a man's being that searches for accomplishment. Count the score. Make a report, you 2 men. Separated by railroad tracks, square footage, horsepower, and clout. And so the first of the 2 men began. For openers, I own a home, he said, with 3 garages, each filled with imported cars. I might as well say it. The spread is lavish. Nothing spared to make it the best all around. I own it all. It's paid for. You could say that it's an estate. I own a business, and I own 300 people who work for me. I might as well say that. I tell them when they must come to work, when to eat, how much they will earn, how hard they'll strive. They call me Mr. Some call me Sir. Yes, you could say I own them. I own a wife. I might as well say it. I've capped her teeth, imported Paris's finest, paid for weight reductions, exercise lessons, club memberships. I purchased her cosmetic beauty. Yes, you could say that I own her. I own my kids. I might as well say it. I've paid for colleges, cars, orthodontists, and doctors. I've set them in motion with trust funds, European vacations, and front page weddings. Yes, you could say that I own them. I own my investments, my properties, my stocks, my directorships. I might as well say it. I own my broker too. Without me, he'd go broker to broke. Yes, you could say that I've got everything I own under control. I own a reputation. Some say hard-nosed, others shrewd. I might as well say it. I'm respected, if not loved. But I never started out to be loved, rather that men might tremble at my word and decision. I have my reputation. Yes, you could say that. I guess I own just about everything. Why then am I so empty of spirit as I play this midnight game? Why do I sit here wondering why my wife is not here? Why my children chose other things to do? If my company will survive, if my reputation is secure, if anyone simply likes me, why must I wonder when I own it all? The second half of this match. Please leave that impressive scene, cross the tracks, count the score, tally the card of the second man who plays the game. He says this, my house is old. My car is rusting out, and I wonder, he thinks, if the furnace will last the winter. But I might as well admit it, this place owns me. It calls me to itself each evening as I walk 3 blocks from the bus stop. It beckons with memories of Christmases, crisis, giggles, and prayers. I am gladly owned by its warmth. My job, it's a job humbling. It's income modest. But I might as well admit it, it kind of owns me. It's an opportunity to serve others, to fix things, to make them go and click, to make something with these hands of mine. You could say I like what I'm doing. My wife, listen to her hum off key. She was not a cheerleader, didn't go to Wellesley, not part of her background, but I might as well admit it, she owns me. I belong to her. I am drawn to her affection, her deep insights, her broad perspective, the eternality of her values, and her compassionate caring. I gladly give myself to her. Nothing held back. My children, they're average students, reasonable competitors. I might as well be frank about it, they own me. I cannot withhold my time from them, my unrestrained enjoyment as they discover life and allow me to join them both as player and spectator. Their birth certificates say they are mine, but my heart says they own me. As to my assets, I own nothing that Wall Street admires. A few things perhaps, but mostly unredeemable. All my holdings are in love, in friendships, in memories and discoveries about life. You could say that I'm glad to be alive, even though my estate is nothing more than pure sentimentality. Reputation, no man knows me or fears me unless you count my friends. And I might as well lay it on the table for you. My friends own me. Why? I'd jump to their side if the occasion would arise. I'd laugh, I'd cry, I'd give, I'd die. I'd hold nothing back from them. You could say that my friends own me. I have no regrets. Tally the card, count the score. The souls of 2 men cry out. One owns, the other is owned. But who is the winner? Are you as confused as I as we watch 2 men extinguish the lights and go to bed? One face is smiling, humming with wife off key. The other is frightened and alone, listening to silence. Perhaps we counted wrongly. Perhaps we didn't know soon enough that the midnight game is a different and ruthless game with different rules and a different judge, mounting to different and very, very high stakes.
Well, it's that. I guess the perfect situation to find balance between both.
I think, yeah, if you have a little bit, but you give more. And you never see people as in any way beneath you. And in fact, get down and wash their feet.
Fly with the crowd.
Right.
What do we always say? Fly with the crowd. Never above. Tell my kids that. You try to be better competitively, but you are with people. Never look down on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been my motto.
From dust we came, to dust we will return.
And you can't take it with you. Enjoy it while you have it and make memories.
Mm-hmm. All absolutely true. We will talk. A lot of Zach Cunningham, and we're going to try to parse the NFC as we shift gears when we come back. But that was sent to me about 10 minutes ago.
That's good.
And I thought it was worth everybody hearing this morning. And we appreciate all you guys. And we appreciate Lee Company as well. I bring in our pal Bree Barnett at Lee Company. Bree, Merry Christmas. How are you?
Merry Christmas. I'm so inspired by your gospel message this morning.
Well,
I was loving that. And Ramon, the fly with the crowd.
Yeah.
Have to never be above anybody. Those people usually crash out.
Bree,
Yeah.
I actually saw Emily on TV yesterday, Emily Bonomo at Lee Company. She was doing some work trying to help people with food, and you guys had been out there, and I noticed all of that. And just thinking about it, you guys do so much in the community. I know you were part of the Heart Walk about a month ago and things like that. I think it's important to know that, yeah, you're going in a lot of people's homes and you're doing a lot of things, Bree, but at the same time, you're also in this community and you're doing a lot of things. So what is Lee Company up to right now?
Yeah, this weekend we are actually going to be over at the Green Hills Mall. They're hosting their annual Santa Paws. So that's this Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. And then also in Mount Juliet, you guys know that Christmas parade that they have every year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes right by our office. So we just basically camp out. We bring hot chocolate, we bring good cheer, and we just are there to welcome anybody who wants to come by. So we believe that giving back to the community is really at the heart of who we are and what we want to be about. So we hope that you guys and your – go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we appreciate that. I appreciate that just the basic stuff that you do. My home does. My new HVAC is working fantastically well, the one that we have upstairs, and we're actually saving a little bit of money right now because the one that was 17 years old, let's just say we were paying more than we should have because that thing was not efficient at all.
Yeah, it's funny how you got to kind of get the new in order to be efficient nowadays. So
yeah, well, we appreciate.
We hope that you guys have a wonderful holiday season, and if you need anything for your home and business, especially with this weather rolling in this evening, so I think that everybody here knows who to call.
Oh yeah, no question about that, Bree. We appreciate all that you guys continue to do, and it's so easy to talk about Lee Company on a day-to-day basis because I know you guys have the community's best interests certainly at heart.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Bree, you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. You guys too.
All right. That is Lee Company. LeeCompany.com. Go to LeeCompany.com/promotions. You can find out how they can save you money. If something's going on with your home, they can probably fix it. I promise you. 615-567-1000. That's 567-1000 or online at LeeCompany.com. Welcome back, J. Marty Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Hey, this beat was used by speech of Arrested Development. Yeah, no, there'll be none of that.
I didn't know any of their names.
You didn't, yeah. J. Marty Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. See, this is why I don't mess with y'all. Mike Keith will join us a little bit later on. Buck Reising will pop in as well.
Sit on it and spit.
Titans Jags on Sunday. The news of the day yesterday was Zach Cunningham being claimed by the Titans and falling that far in a waiver claims to get him. It's interesting. Most people seem pretty happy about this.
Yeah.
But there are a couple of analytics guys that are just like Eric Eager in particular, Pro Football Focus, that was just flat out. It's just batty to me why anybody would claim Zach Cunningham. This is somebody said he had 164 tackles last year. And he said, oh, we're really doing this? As if to say that's not a good thing. That's not a thing that matters all that much. Yeah. It's interesting. Look, analytics can tell you whatever you want them to tell you. We got to see what it looks like. Certainly it didn't go well in Houston this year for him. He missed a COVID test. He was late. As we see Hewell Babineau exiting the studio.
Lavelle Crawford in
Lavelle
the
Crawford in the house.
Hey, there it is. Going to see the fam over at 92Q.
Indeed. He's been in the building before, but every time I see a cast member from Breaking Bad walk in, who's also a really funny stand-up comedian, you kind of stop and pay attention to that for a second.
Finish the show, Jason. Be strong.
Nope. Hey, be strong. He about to run out real quick. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll just go out.
807.
For those that don't know, Ramon, you want to explain that to them?
So yesterday, Jay, we talk about our family dynamics on this show. Jason, new dad, appreciating every step of her journey, his journey. And he's telling us that she's starting to talk now. Except she's not saying consonants. She's only saying vowels. And Jay, I was like, well, what are consonants supposed to sound like? And Shafe wasn't in, so he thought he was good to go. But I said, Shafe, if you're listening, 807. And what did Jason Aloysius Martin do at 807?
All right, let me pay. Give me a second. We'll play the whole.
You have the 23 because you put it in the stupid chat yesterday. She's not doing consonants yet. Abby mentioned that. She's just like, are you going to start babbling soon? I'm like, she's babbling all the time. She's like, no, those are all vowels. Babble involves consonants. I did not know that.
See, is this her pediatric side coming out?
I guess so, but like babbling is not vowels. It's not. It's like.
So what Jason didn't know at the time was while I was getting ready for grand jury duty, I was at the house and I had the web stream up. I was actually in the shower when I hear from Ramon in my bathroom, Shafe, 807. I'm like, got it.
Yo. Again, what did we say is we're giving out flowers today, Shafe? At any point in time, it could be your day. Sometimes we just do. Like that.
I personally don't find it funny. I don't think that it is a funny. I just think it's a stupid bit that I don't know why anybody actually would find that amusing.
So what about Zach Cunningham?
Zach Cunningham's a Titan.
I'm hoping there's an ellipses to that, and that's not a
we're
period.
Done. That's it. No, this is just a situation where he obviously didn't want to be in Houston. So the question is just, were whatever red flags that emerged there this year, not wanting to be with that organization anymore, was that just his way to get out of there? Was that just him not really wanting to waste his time?
I think he was acting out.
Was he acting out because he wanted to get out of Houston?
Yeah. I mean, so Houston shipped everybody else out, though. They really did. They left him the only, Laramie Tunsil's on IR. Who do they have on that team? Name me 5 Houston Texans, Jason.
Well, we're gonna
Brandon
play
Cooks.
We're gonna play a game later.
Oh,
Name
yeah,
us
you did
5
bring that
Jacksonville
up.
Jaguars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brandon
We'll do that
Cooks, Tyrod Taylor, Davis Mills.
you swinging low. Do not
Davis
swing at that
Mills.
curve ball like that, man. You knew it's a curve. And you swung.
Philip Lindsay.
No, he's out, isn't he?
Got cut.
He got cut.
I thought they brought him back.
Did they?
I don't know.
That's so
Brian Cushing.
This is Jason's. I don't know.
David Carr. Andre Johnson. Because you didn't say present Houston Texans. You just said Houston Texans. CJ Fedorowicz. David Johnson. Arian Foster.
Oh, are we playing the Eddie game? Are we doing the Eddie game right now?
Matt Schaub.
I knew it.
JJ Watt.
You, Aaron Rodgers.
That's the right one to play for JJ Watt. Hey, wait, keep it close. Jadeveon Clowney.
No.
You, Aaron Rodgers.
Play the baby
Would
one.
you say Jadeveon Clowney again?
What's our answer?
Huh?
What's our answer to that again? Sometimes we just do.
See, I mixed it up.
I
on
was
you.
expecting the baby
I know.
drop.
That's why I mixed it up on you. We're wearing out the baby drop.
for this hour.
I'm even growing tired.
We got 2 more hours.
I mean, we got the rest of the show's future to play that.
Yes, we do. He taking his headphones off.
It's just so sensitive.
DeAndre Hopkins.
We might as well do this. The rest of the show's been off the rails.
No.
I come back and everything goes to all to hell.
Okay. Zach Cunningham.
Yeah. Cat Cunningham.
Harvin Marison. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how I feel about this. Coach Matt kind of said this a little bit yesterday, that this team needs bodies. Zach Cunningham is a proven body in this league as far as he can play. He's productive as ever for Houston last year. I think he felt the same way about the Houston team. Once Deshaun was out, why do I need to be here? You already gave me all my money. Like, they literally gave him, I think, was it $23 or $28 million to sign? And I think they still owe him a bonus or something like that next year. You're only on the hook for like $250,000, $55,000. That's like $50,000 a week that's left to pay out to him. That's chump change to an NFL team. With that being said, the Titans could potentially get a high production, low cost guy for what he's done in the past. I'm not going to judge the play action until I see it here. Now, if he gets caught lacking and looking in the backfield and biting on play action, because if that's a known issue of his, then that's a problem. But again, to the point about, is this a way to get out of a team by skipping COVID tests, just being a nuisance to the program? Job well done. You made it out. Now go play ball. Again, his expectations in Houston is going to be a whole lot different what his expectations are here in Nashville. Again, I would think this team would put him in spots to where he'd be successful early on until he learns more of the playbook, learns more of what this defense can do. We know he can play. He's got speed. He's got experience in this league. I think initially I like the way this looks. You just need bodies. There's so many injuries on this team. And also, the best part about it, 2022, you can cut them with nothing left owed. I think safe contract to be picked up for a veteran player in this league who's not injured, hadn't been a headache until recently, getting out of Houston. Good on the scene for doing their homework on him. From my understanding, I think the Patriots wanted him too.
And because the Patriots beat the Titans, waiver gave the Titans the shot to get him before the Patriots.
Yeah.
So, look, if it turns out that he's what we have seen him be at times and what some players that have played against him have said, then this could be huge.
Yeah.
Huge,
Yeah.
because they were trying to move him to the trade deadline. He was being talked about like people were going to acquire him, pay him money. Some contender was going to get him, and then they end up just dropping him off. They're going to end up paying 5.6 and 12 point something mil in terms of dead cap money after giving him a 4-year, $58 million extension. I don't know if it's a rental and a mercenary spot for the rest of the year for Zach, or if that's something where they evaluate and look, maybe they go long term. I think we already knew this. I mean, Rashawn's not coming back.
It'd be interesting to see how that play out. Don't look like it. And right now, being that he's out too, it's not making a huge case.
He's making no case.
Yeah, to actually be retained. And
Rashawn's going to be out.
Jayon's probably going to be out.
Jayon's probably going to be out.
I would like to see Jayon stay because I feel like he's a locker room guy.
Well, it's just him getting injured last year.
I know.
So that he couldn't cash in. And Jayon's a great dude.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like.
But he's got to find a way to get paid.
If he didn't have anywhere to go, meaning like the market isn't what he thought it was going to be.
Well, that's kind of what happened this year.
I know, man. But
he's going to have somewhere to go. And I think the reason he came back is because he knew the cap was going to go up and he was going to be able to make more money.
Yeah. So that's why he took the 1-year deal.
He needs a stretch. He needs it as far as career goes. I mean,
he needs a good deal this time because his availability is a concern.
And if you have David Long, you're not going to re-sign Jayon Brown.
Exactly right. I mean, I could see a universe where you're looking at Long and Cunningham next year with Monty Rice.
Well, and you got to pay Harold Landry.
And you've got to. I think you're going to franchise Harold Landry.
Yeah, which I agree. I think franchise on Harold.
Only franchise one. Do you franchise Harold and pay Nate or AJ? Which one of those three are you franchising and decided to pay or cut or let go?
Well, you don't have to pay AJ yet.
I thought AJ was up after this year.
No, he's got one more.
No, he got one more.
But next year's
right, but you're franchising this one, and then you could the next one if you want to, but you don't want to franchise a receiver if you don't have to because that's just a heavy number.
It's very true.
2 years from now, you're going to have even more money to play with.
This is true.
From a cap perspective also.
And they're going to make some other moves that Titans fans – well, we're speculating that they could potentially make some other moves that Titans fans may not like that's going to free up some more.
There's going to be some names
that
have been synonymous with this franchise that are not going to be wearing the uniform next year.
Could be one of the biggest overhauls this team's had under Vrabel.
It's going to be a big facelift.
It is.
It's going to be a big facelift for a contending team.
The O-line is going to have $100,000 worth of surgery and get sued because it's not going to look the same.
Don't have the bubble lips.
That's my biggest concern for this team. Because, again, throughout history, the Titans have been known to run the ball. All of them. Like every team they've had has, they've got a running quarterback in this new NFL, or they got a running back that does dynamic things. And it starts with the guys up front. Again, like I said, Quessenberry, Nate, Ben. Looking at those three, something's got to be decided. And then I think, what's crazy? I think Rodger is back. I do know finding left tackles in this league is hard too. So Lawan could be back too. I think you got to keep something.
They're going to be on restructured deals.
I mean, somebody's saying name them, Jay. I don't think I'm on record. I don't think Taylor is back next year. I'd be surprised if Rodger is back.
I think there's a good chance 3/5 of that line could be gone by next year for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, I can.
So there's your names.
I just saw this, and so I tweeted it out. The NCAA, per ESPN News Services this morning, the NCAA is stopping the fake slide that Pitt quarterback Kenny Pickett used to score a touchdown in the ACC championship game Saturday, according to a memo from the NCAA National Coordinator of Officials. Referees should interpret a fake slide as a player surrendering himself and should end the play. Quote, anytime a ball carrier begins, simulates, or fakes a feet-first slide, the ball should be declared dead by the on-field officials at that point. The intent of the rule is player safety. The objective is to give a ball carrier an option to end the play by sliding feet first and to avoid contact. To allow the ball carrier to fake a slide would compromise the defense that is being instructed to let up when the ball carrier slides feet first. Dave Clausen, remember I told you what he had said. He's like, I don't think he faked it. If he did, he's brilliant, blah, blah, blah. He has said since, if that is the rule, meaning if it hasn't changed, if that's the rule, he says, I'll just have my guy fake kneel all the way down the field. And really, what do you do? And he's not wrong.
Not yet. Not yet.
But here's the thing. You fake kneel and somebody comes at you, and then you go ahead and finish it off and take the targeting penalty.
Yeah.
Maybe knock somebody out of the game and get a 50. That's why you can't allow it.
If they take that targeting, if they make it to where you're not suspended in the NCAA, and they start knocking these quarterback heads off, that's when that fake slide, fake kneel stuff will start to take over. stop doing. That's when it would stop happening. The quarterback is very well protected in all leagues, and to have something like this where there's a loophole in the game, like it's one thing already is with the fake injuries to get an extra timeout. Like that's one thing that has to be fixed at some point. I don't think fans want to see that. Opposing or the home team, like you don't want to see that stuff. So they got their hands full this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
They legitimately have their hands full this offseason. That fake slide is, if they'd have hit him, what would have happened?
I mean, the guy would have been out of the game probably, because if Pickett's smart, he just goes ahead and finishes the slide. As soon as he sees somebody is going to be able to take him down, he does that.
Yep. I would be ticked off, and I've always defended the offensive guy. Like, well, you should know better. And now they're getting a little bit too crafty with it. Way too crafty with it, man. That's wild. So they have put in parameters around the fake slide already. Whew.
The only thing is, it does say it's not reviewable. So whatever happens, whatever they call at the time, they call. That's it.
There it is.
Pickett said, I just kind of started slowing down and pulling up and getting ready to slide. Then I saw their body language and just pulled up as well. I'd never done that before. I just kind of kept going after I initially started to slide. What you did, I don't think you intentionally did it. I think you realized at the time you started to slide that they were backing off. And so you said, well, I don't have to slide now. But you didn't realize that the reason they backed off is because you were giving yourself up.
If I'm a defender, I'm taking his head off principle. I'm sorry.
On the next play.
No, in the next game. I got to take his head off. Like, you're not going to do the old me, okay, if I saw some stuff happen in the game, I'm like, this guy's a prick. Guess what happens? In my notebooks, he went on the prick side. He went on the side that, hey,
did you actually have a notebook where one side was labeled pricks?
Okay, so the thing about like the getting in a mindset of being like competitive is it's certain stuff that just ticks you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to watch film and be like, oh, I ain't like the way he did that. He got to get it. Like, I legitimately used to write a name down, circle, and be like, him.
Mo, you know what you're saying?
What?
You can keep messing around with you and turn you back to the old you?
Yeah, no, for real.
Forgot about Moan?
Yeah.
Look, I'll say this. There are times I've had text message conversations with Ramon that I'm like, homie, just calm down, homie.
Yeah.
We've all had to talk. We've had to talk, all three of us at different times.
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah.
There have been those moments where one of us sees red and the other two are like, hey, let's mix a little blue
back
in there, pal.
I've been known to get a little snappy.
My old notebooks, I'm telling you, I got a few still at the crib. It was names that I had to write down.
Just
you said it.
Snap into it.
Don't make me play that ish on you.
Don't you do it.
What are you going to do, stop me?
I mean, you make a good point.
Sorry.
It's an impeccable argument. Go ahead, Mo.
But what I'm saying is you find ways to get a competitive edge or to have motivation in games. And watching somebody be off-putting to somebody else on the field was not a fan of it. And what's wild, though, is universal. Like, everybody remembers the hit that Juju placed on Vontaze in that game. That was a brutal game. And you know what's wild? It was some people we played the week after that was like, hey, thank y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're that type of person out on the field, and it's all kind of like little small stuff that goes on, but if you're that type of person on the field, people find ways to get you. Like, there's like game justice, I guess you would say. Some people use street justice. Like, you can get it back. And it's just a matter of time before you get got if you're one of those dirty, filthy players like that. So, yeah, I would have lists or circled names. X this person out this week.
You would actually write it down?
It's just
or is it a mental list?
No, I understood what the assignment was in my notebook.
Blaine Bishop used to tell me stories like this for him to get psyched up into a game.
I've heard him say stuff like, I never like made it personal. Like, oh, you said this about my mama? Like, nah, I just hate the way you play. You don't play the game right.
A disrespect thing.
Yeah. It's a disrespect. Respect the game.
Yeah.
Y'all
it's
going to keep messing around with me and turn me back to the old me.
What about Montez Perfect?
I got nothing.
615 Clawfence, 615-737-1045 is the telephone number. 737-1045. More in a moment. Jay Martin, Ramon, 1045 the zone.
Ratchet stuff.
It is J. Martin Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville. Ramon Foster, Jonathan Schaefer, Jason Martin here with you until 10 a.m. Mike Keith will join us in the next hour. Let's go to Robert in Laverne. He's on line one. Robert, what's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the quarterback feigning a slide and stuff like that. I personally just think that that's gamesmanship. I remember a couple of years back, Tom Brady did that to Brian Urlacher, and Urlacher looked absolutely crazy and stuff, but he was showing Brady the respect of, yeah, Brady's going to go down, and Brady didn't go down and ran right past him and stuff. And to me, that's gamesmanship. I think there's some things that you can't take. That's like if a quarterback is scrambling and he's out of the pocket and he raises his arm like he's going to throw the pass, feigning to the defenders that he's going to pass, but he doesn't pass and he continues to run and stuff. You know, is he going to be penalized? I mean, I think there's some things you just got to leave alone and just let the game be what it is. And these are grown men playing a grown man's game, and they understand the consequences and the physicality of the game, and they make a decision if they're going to slide or if they're not going to slide, and then they pay the repercussions for either or.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, the problem, though, is like what you're talking about. These are guys that are adults and are playing a game and all this. Right, but the defense can't just make that decision because if the defender just goes and takes out the guy and costs his team 15 yards. Gamesmanship is a nice little way to put in a box. In a lot of cases, it's a way to excuse behavior that probably shouldn't be happening, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are things that you can't adjudicate out, but, like, it's gamesmanship. It's just stuff that happens. No, not on the fake slide. Not when you've got targeting penalties in college and 15-yard variety penalties and all this other kind of stuff, and the quarterback can just go ahead and finish the slide if you're coming after him. Mm-hmm. No, like as he begins a fake slide, you have to be able to protect the defense because you're trying to do this for safety. That's not going to encourage safety, a fake slide. That's not going to help you at all, as a matter of fact. You need to knock this out because, trust me, other coaches saw what Kenny Pickett did and immediately thought, well, we're going to start doing that. Can't let that happen.
No.
Cannot let that happen.
And see, the thing about the slide is this, too. The slide, and that's where the protection side of it comes into it, is the fact that it's recognized as this. The yards that you get aren't at the end of your slide. It's where you initiate your initial going down. When you initially start to go down, that's where the ball is marked at. So that it's an understanding of the gamesmanship that, look, if you go down, if you look like you're starting to go down, then I stop because you're giving yourself up. That's the issue with the fake slide situation right there is everybody around him understands that the play is over. And that's why it sucks for the defender when you have a guy that fake slides. That, to me, has to be corrected. Or I'll tell you what, let me see how this spear into your face mask looks like or feels like after I do it if you're going to continue with that little rule. So if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Isn't that how it goes? Fake me out, I smack you in your face. Quarterbacks don't want that problem, though, especially in this new era of what football is, considering there are more mobile quarterbacks. There are more offensive coordinators that have running plays for their quarterback. Look at Josh Allen, Lamar. I mean, one of the reasons Cam was so ticked off about what he had going on because he was getting hit a whole lot. He thought unfairly. Yeah, lights are flickering in here.
So somebody just said this on Twitch. Go back and watch it at speed. That was a juke. He planted a foot and drug a toe and made a move. That's not what he said. Yeah, he actually said, I was giving myself up. And then I saw them back off, and I did that. He faked the slide.
He faked the slide.
I don't know that he meant to fake it when he started it, but he realized, I can do something with this. You just can't let it happen. It's that similar. He said, we would not be talking about this. The announcer didn't call it a fake slide on the broadcast. Again, let's just say Kenny Pickett admitted to it.
Mm-hmm.
So all due respect, but I'm going to go with the guy who did it saying, yeah, I kind of faked that. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, you guilty. You didn't even have to give him a Coke and a cigarette. He was ready to tell it all. I would have denied it if I was him. But I guess he ain't got much
I would have
lose.
too.
Yeah.
Probably.
They didn't even have to interrogate him long enough. He gave up all the information, Jay.
And again, Boot Hill Will says, fake slide once, get absolutely blasted on the next play. You don't want to play that game with your QB1. Agreed.
I'm telling you, if it was me, hey, I got somebody that played on that team. You got to get it. It is what it is, though.
Funky Cheese, man. Hey! You know how you have to end your call, but you can say whatever you want up until that point.
Okay, top of the doohickey, fellas.
Yeah.
Look here, I know it's been a peaceful morning and all that, but I'm bringing the violence right now.
Yes.
Okay, so yesterday I wasn't able to call in because I was inside of the shipper, but heard the guy Caples on here trying to attack the radio station, talking about they ain't holding the flagship down, just by saying that we possibly could lose one of these next games between, the Steelers and the Niners. Man, let me tell you like this. There's plenty of fan base, do-boy, YouTube shows that you can go that got the biased opinions that the Titans ain't going to lose. But, man, that's just irrational. It's really ignorant to think that we can't go and get beat by two of those teams because both of them, at the end of the day, they're all professionals, and they're damn good teams. When they go hard, they go hard. So I just had to get that out of the way. Your guys' job is to be honest. Y'all don't have to be all the way with the Titans 100% and give a lying opinion. That'd be stupid. Who the hell would want to listen to you at that point? Anyway, we're looking forward to the Jags. We're going to stop a mud hole in them. Ain't nothing to it. Tighten up. Gas pedal.
Yes.
Tighten up. End it that way. Look, we didn't really talk about that yesterday, and everybody is entitled to believe what they want to believe, but we can – it is what it is. We're just going to tell you what we actually think. We hope that everybody that does this for a living does the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would listen to us if we just said the Titans are going to go 17-0 year after year after year.
Who's done that?
Nobody. I don't think anybody ever has.
72 Dolphins.
4-1. I think the chances are they're going to lose another game before the end of the year. I do. I think 12-5. It's hard to win in this league.
You're playing at Pittsburgh on a Sunday and then a Thursday night against San Francisco, who's fighting for a playoff spot.
And now we know the Steelers can't lose.
Sometimes the schedule beats you. A couple times a year, the schedule lines up to where it can beat you.
Yeah.
So to say that they could go 4-1 and lose one of those games is completely reasonable.
It would be reasonable to say they could go 3-2. It's the
absolutely.
NFL. You can get beat by anybody. This team has lost to the Texans and the Jets. I'm not saying they're going to lose. I'm saying likelihood is they're probably not going to win all 5 of the remaining games. 615-737-1045, J. Martin and Mo, 1045 The Zone. Hey, it's J. Mart. So I actually was talking to Michael Ramsey over at PAI Medical a couple of days ago. We were having a conversation, and that's where I went and decided, I'm going to thicken up the hair just a little bit and do this surgery. And it's not something I really ever considered, never something that had moved the needle too much for me, but I did know there was a little bit of hair loss in my family, and my crown was a little bit thin, and I'm mid-40s, close to it at least. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not give it a shot? But one thing that you will notice as you're driving around Nashville is these We Grow Hair billboards. And I think they scare you off because they look phony, because you see a guy on the left and then you see a guy on the right, and it's clearly the same guy, but it's gone from 0 to 100. And that makes you think that that's going to happen in a week. We Grow Hair, that is PAI Medical. But this is like a 12 to 15-month process. This is a very gradual deal. This is not Drew Brees, folks. This is... like right now, I actually have a little bit less hair than I did with the deal because there's a shedding process. And then here in a couple of months, it's going to start to grow in, and you're going to see it right here on the air. So it's not like all of a sudden my hair is here. This is not phony in any way. So I think that might scare you off if you're looking at it, because you'd like to be the dude on the right, but everybody's seen the guy on the left. And so you don't want it to all of a sudden be today it's one thing, tomorrow it's the other. Well, PAI Medical, it is a long process. It's a gradual process. It just kind of naturally fills back in. So that's just not something you have to worry about. The billboard makes it look in a way that I think maybe misrepresents what the process is. It's much better than maybe you might have thought it is. Surgical, non-surgical, PAI Medical has you when it comes to cost. They got affordable payment plans that fit anyone's budget. PAI Medical Group has been in Nashville for over 25 years. All they do is hair. They're the very best at it. I trusted them. You can trust them too. I want you to call 615-376-6010 and talk to Michael Ramsey. Let them show you the plan that they might have. Here's what we can do for you. They'll take some photos. They'll tell you, here's what's reasonable. Here's what can be accomplished. Here's how we get there. Do it. I promise you. It's a good decision to make. 615-376-6010 or online at wegrowhair.com.
It is 8:03. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer. Thursday night football. What a wild game this turned into, especially late in the third quarter and all the fourth quarter. Minnesota Vikings nearly blew a 29-point lead, but held on to defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 36-28. Steelers nearly scored a touchdown on the last play of the game, but Harrison Smith dislodged the ball from Pat Freiermuth to secure the victory.
Ben to the end zone, and it's dropped! Freiermuth had it, and then he was blasted by a couple of Vikings in tandem, and the the Minnesota Vikings have beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers on the final play of the game.
Dalvin Cook rushed for 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, returning from a shoulder injury. Vikes 6-7, Steelers 6-1. Will host the Titans next Sunday. Titans claimed linebacker Zach Cunningham off waivers from the Houston Texans. The former Vanderbilt standout, a career-high 164 tackles last season, second highest total in the NFL. Nashville Predators defeated the Islanders last night 4-3, scoring the game-winning goal with just over 11 seconds remaining. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5, The Zone.
Man, I screwed up. I mean, I did bring in the Celsius for us, but I forgot, fellas. I was going to bring in chocolate chunk peppermint loaf.
Ooh.
And you was loafing.
So that'll be on Monday.
Loafing?
Maybe.
What's wrong with you, man? I don't
believe.
Now you're expecting it, so I didn't want to play it.
Well, like, people are literally saying, I'm crying laughing at this. I'm just like, I really just didn't think it was funny. Not because it was me, just because I was like, I don't know. But everybody loves it, so all right.
Oh, we knew.
Cool.
Didn't we know, Shave?
I mean, I knew it was gold the moment I heard it.
Jay Martin, Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
Baby talk.
Tell you he was not gold. 11-year NFL veteran and Vol for Life, Ramon Foster and Jonathan Schaefer. I'm Jason Martin. Platinum.
By the way, y'all, we figured out that we can put that sound to Baby Shark.
That's so good. Get you a producer like Jonathan Schaefer, okay? That's what you do in your life. I don't care. It can be your homeboy, your homegirl. Get you somebody in your life like Jonathan. What is your middle name, huh?
Aloysius.
Aloysius Schaefer.
Massengill.
Get you a Schaefer in your life.
I like that. Get you a Schaefer in your life. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, pimp me out.
Do you mind?
It's fine.
Get underneath that light pole there.
Whoa.
Hit that corner, Shave.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa.
All right.
Get on it and spin.
It's raining outside. I'll give you an umbrella.
Oh.
Get you a
I
Schaefer.
mean,
Tighten up.
All right. Okay. It's time to do the show again. Jay, welcome in, man. Good morning.
I don't know what you want, man. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
What do you want from me? By the way, I brought in Reese's this morning, too.
Yeah, you did.
that's an understatement.
That's a log, man. Let me.
That's Reese in a box.
Phrasing.
Look at this thing. Pause. Look at this Reese's.
I like that you wore an
brought
orange
in.
shirt so it looks like your body.
My wife found this at Target.
It's
man.
as tall as you are, bro.
It is. My wife found this thing at Target. It's got 14 full size like Reese's in there.
I mean, you're 6'13". It's as tall as you are.
I told this to Moan. I saw this at the store. This may have been when I was going to get medicine or going to a little clinic or something like that over the last few weeks. I can't remember where I saw it or when I saw it. I know I saw it in Kroger. Reese's cups with potato chips broken up.
I've seen that. I saw it. And I get it because it's the salt sweet thing. Like my wife would eat fries, like dip her fries into
in
a Wendy's Frosty.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Which I thought was ridiculous until I tried it once
it's
and
good.
said, "Sorry, babe, that's my bad. My bad."
You say that a lot, don't you?
Oh, wait, to admit. I mean, it's all just.
This is so ridiculous.
But I've never actually eaten. I don't think I've ever eaten like peanut butter and a chip. I've definitely had pretzels,
Oh, peanut butter.
popcorn, and with like M&Ms in it or something like
Excuse
that
me.
here and there.
Yeah, I've definitely had peanut butter and pretzel for sure. That's really good.
Yeah, yeah, I have too.
Yeah, chocolate covered pretzels and
Yeah, chocolate covered pretzels are good.
so get the chocolate covered pretzels and dip them in some like creamy peanut butter.
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, isn't that a Buckeye, basically?
Basically,
Yeah.
basically it's just peanut butter covered in chocolate. Yeah.
No, I dude, that almost freaks me out a little bit. I don't even know if I would try the potato chips and the Reese's.
I felt a little
I
intimidated.
feel like it'd be soggy.
The only thing, no, it wouldn't be soggy
soggy.
because peanut butter's dry,
right.
right?
Yeah.
I think it holds some type of liquid.
Not
value
really,
to it.
unless you buy the stuff that you have to mix every
There's a
time that has like
moisture-
that weird congealed liquid. I don't trust that.
I mean, there's a moisture to it.
Phrasing.
But
Weird congealed liquid. Is that what the phrasing problem is?
Sure. That's what it was.
That's what we doing today, huh?
You heard the first hour of this show
Are
and
you
you listened to
surprised?
the last 3 minutes. Well, you get the full gamut on this, don't you?
This show's just a buffet, man.
That's what we're doing today.
Man, I just saw what Claypool did last. You
Dude.
fool.
yeah.
And then blame Trey Turner for it
Threw
in the
him-
post game. Threw him totally under the
I
bus.
had to text one of my guys like, did he beat his you know what after the game? Like, there's no dog, not like that, not like
I don't
that.
know. I mean, it was just 36 seconds left, and you're signaling first down when you got to hurry up and try to score.
Awareness,
Bro.
awareness.
Brother. How was it Trey Turner's fault? He didn't do anything.
Trey was trying to get you to stop being silly so you can come over here and get this ball down. Like, I've legitimately seen centers run up to the ball, grab it, and actually spot it themselves, and all the ref has to do is touch it just to down it. You know?
Phrasing.
Hey.
Phrasing.
Hey, Chase Claypool.
Fuck you, Aaron Rodgers.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You're behind with 35 seconds left, and you're going to spend that time posing.
I mean, it cost them 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Every second counts at the end of the game like that, though, you know? It's two things that irks me on the football field.
I can't even imagine what RC's saying right now on ESPN.
Apparently, I got an alert that said he went off.
Oh, I'm sure he's crushing.
What he's saying, it cost you an extra play.
Yeah.
Because it did.
Yeah. An extra play that could have got you into the end zone.
So the thing that gets me is the not being conscious of time situation like that. And the other one is DBs that's saying incomplete when they had nothing with the ball being
They had nothing to do with it?
Like that ball was overthrown. Or he just simply dropped that. You had no effect on that play.
Yeah, I made
right
the
there.
play. It's like, no, it was 3 yards over the dude's head. You didn't do anything. You just watched it like the rest of us did.
That's not a PBU, buddy.
Oh. I mean, in that case, it just
Sit on it and spit.
that's the ball's just sailing into the sideline.
Yeah, like being conscious about what the game environment is. Like that was a bad.
You know what?
play.
I've got an even better representation of Chase
Go ahead,
Claypool
what you
from
got?
last night.
Clown show. Clown
Now,
show.
that said, if you're Pat Fryermuth, you got to hold on to that
You got to
football
hold
in
on.
the end zone.
Yep, you got to hold on. I mean, the Vikings defensively made a play on him. I don't discount.
Yeah, I
what
mean, they had
did.
two guys on him, but at the same time, if you're a tight end,
Yeah.
It was a hell
You
of
got
a
to
throw by Ben. I mean, it was a heck of a throw.
yeah.
I retweeted a video out of some dude, I guess, on the tarmac.
Yeah, it's funny. I retweeted it because I had to.
Wait a minute. And then after they snapped the ball and downed it, Claypool then snapped at Turner.
Turner's an OG. From my
Not only did he
understanding-
snap at him in the press conference, if you go listen to it, he point
know what?
blank said it was Trey's fault. He's like, I was trying to give the ball to the official, and then Trey comes and grabs that. No.
To piggyback off
no.
of Buck Reising Show, that is the dumbest thing in sports this week was Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool basically told Trey, get your fat nubby hands off the ball.
What are you doing, you
That
fool?
that might be the only thing dumber that I saw than 6 of 40 from 3 for Tennessee against Texas Tech.
Yeah, I didn't.
Sorry to bring that back up, but
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
horrible.
it's all good.
Ooh.
Don't trip. It's all good.
It was just bad.
Rough.
It's all good. They get another shot at it this weekend.
By the way, starting next week, Ron Slade will be making weekly appearances on Tuesdays here on J. Martin Remote.
We got the guy on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. That's because Tennessee usually plays on Tuesdays.
Wow,
too.
they didn't even ask me about that.
Yeah, because
Nobody even asked me about that.
would you have said you had a problem with it?
I mean, no.
That's why I went ahead and did it.
I would have faked having a problem with it.
Sometimes what, Shay?
I'd have Kenny Picketed that thing.
Sometimes we just do. Feel me? Just be there.
Knife talk.
All I know is Slade was having a good time last night when he
He
texted me.
was. And he was up early this morning. Ron, have you been asleep? Y'all got a show to do this
Yeah,
evening.
because Ron, that's what's funny. I'm glad he had accountability partners at the airport last night, because he's never on a flight on time.
No.
Never.
No.
But you know, because they're going up to New York for the Army-Navy game. But you know Don was not going to allow Slade to miss that flight.
Man, I'll
Not
say,
a chance.
That was yesterday, and I'll say it was another time. Ron actually surprised me. I got the video. I might post it one day. He was on time. I think my wife ended up bringing Ron up. Surprised me. I never get surprised. I always got a clue. Okay.
You didn't have a clue about that T-shirt I wore last week.
No, I didn't. You didn't have a clue we was going to juice that baby drop either. But
Actually,
aside from that,
he knew we were.
Aside from that, though, like we was in a rough spell my last year, and she knew I was a little down. And Ron, of course, he's Ron. He's the guy.
Ron's Ron. He's the Pied Piper.
Man, I sat down and I'm chilling, and it was game day actually. And I heard something on the steps. I'm like, what the world is going on? He bust through the door, man. One of the biggest surprises I've ever had in my life. It cheered me up. We won that night too, by the way.
Didn't show up at the hospital with Abby.
He was looking. I think you know now. He was gonna find a way.
He was legitimately looking, Jason.
Abby dreamed about Slay. Yesterday morning. Here's what happened. Ron died in her dream.
Now. That wasn't the turn I was looking for.
That's still one of the greatest twists in this show's history.
Mike Keith next. Jay Martin and Mo, 104.5 The Zone.
Zach!
Hey, it's Jay Mart. If you're tired of renting, I want to help you make your dreams of home ownership happen. Loan officers at Mortgage Investors Group ready to walk you through all your options, offer all the advice that you need to get you started, be ahead of all the other buyers by getting pre-qualified before you ever start looking. Man, Nashville's housing market's going nowhere, and it's completely out of control right now. So you've got to find a way to get ahead and be where you need to be on the scoreboard. Pre-qualification gives you the bargaining power that you need. It's going to help you close quicker than the other guys. Get pre-qualified and get moving. As a first-time home buyer, that first home loan, just signing that, just filling that thing out. It can seem like a daunting task, but you don't have to worry. Mortgage Investors Group will be here for you every single step of the way with 100% financing possible to take you from renting to owning based on borrower qualification. Mortgage Investors Group, committed to helping Tennesseans just like you and your family fulfill your dreams of home ownership. Nobody does it better. They got a website. They got offices near you. I promise you, Brentwood, Hendersonville, Cool Springs. They want to be your home loan lender, whether that means your first home, whether that means your fifth home, whether you're just trying to get a better payment. They've got you. I promise you. Go to migonline.com for everything that you need. migonline.com or text MIG to 31399. The letters MIG to 31399 to get pre-qualified and get moving with Mortgage Investors Group. Equal housing lender, license number 109111.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Roberts.
Oh, man. Welcome back. Jay Martin, Mel 104.5, The Zone.
Ooh, that's our guy.
No vowels, all consonants, baby.
Did you hear about that?
Don't worry about that.
What now?
Don't worry about
Jay's
that.
telling us, apparently with baby talk, if they're going that's not really learning how to talk. You got to start using consonants.
Abby said, Mike, that as Mike Heath, voice of Tennessee Titans, is with us here in
Hello
the studio.
again, everybody.
Yes,
There
welcome.
he is.
Abby said that CG, Claire Grace, is going to start babbling soon. I'm like, well, she's talking a lot to me, like constantly, all this other kind of stuff.
Well, just let me take that.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You
sure.
ready for a good laugh,
Here we
Mike?
go.
She's
Yeah.
not doing consonants yet. Abby mentioned that. She's just like, are you going to start babbling soon? I'm like, she's babbling all the time. She's like, no, those are all vowels. Babble involves consonants. I did not know that.
See, is this her pediatric side coming out?
I guess so, but like babbling is not vowels. It's not. It's like.
Aren't you glad you did that?
So glad, Mike.
So happy.
I didn't even realize in the moment. I thought it was just nothing. Now all of a sudden, he's time stamping it. It's at 8:07. We got listeners asking for it. Like, so I guess I'm screwed now.
There you go.
That's good.
Zach Cunningham, Mike.
I've taken a couple of hits in my life and responded like that. Yeah. I'm fine. Put me back in, coach.
570 tackles. 358
Now
solo
you're
tackles.
changing the subject. You're the guy that picks on everybody. You're the bully behind the mic, and now you're getting a little of it. How does that feel, Jason? How does that make,
807, Mike.
how does that make you feel?
Like Kenny
Jason?
Mayne,
Yes.
Schaefer.
Yeah, thank you.
You, Aaron Rodgers.
There it is.
Hey, now.
That's how it makes me
Do it
feel.
one more time, Shay.
You, Aaron
No,
Rodgers.
the babble. Mind you, I didn't say a thing because
I know, because you just let him walk into it. Yeah.
It's that door right there.
It's so great. Well, see, on Titans Radio, I've got Philip Noel, I've got Rhett Bryan, and I've got Brad Willis. And every time I say something dopey, let me tell you, it's coming back. It's so coming. And I know it. And it's just like the great thing that I have in my repertoire is I'm going to say something really dopey about once a game. So it's all coming back. So don't feel bad, Jason. It's all. Hey, Mike, you're not very good. Yeah, that's pretty much, stuff like that. But no, I mean, you say things at different points and they come out and you go, boy, that didn't sound right. And I know it's going to reappear. I'm thinking maybe nobody noticed that I said something dopey like that.
The green grass, a home call a couple weeks ago,
No,
Mike.
that's not. That's just regular dopey. That's weak. That's
ordinary
that's
dopey.
Ordinary dopey.
That's opie. That's not even
opie.
dopey.
That's just the normal junk you get every week for the last 24 years. I mean,
as we call it, that's light work.
That's light work. That's exactly right.
Mike,
So what were you asking? You had a question, Jason? Go
I
right
didn't know it
ahead
was a
with your
question.
show.
Zach
now
Cunningham.
that we've hijacked your program.
Go ahead, call it.
I should go, huh?
You want to talk about this giant Reese's?
Let me tell you something. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed in coming in here because I'm a Reese's guy. And you notice I call it Reese's because I'm originally from East Tennessee.
That's what I used to call it until somebody called me on it.
I don't
Said
care.
it's Reese's.
I don't
I'm like,
care. I
I've
don't
always
care.
called it Reese's. My
I'm
mom's called it Reese's.
I'm
My dad's
originally
called
from
it
East
Reese's.
Tennessee. I say Reese's.
I'm
So
from
anyway, that 18 full-size packs, I could crush that.
For real?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you taking this down?
I could take it all down.
We
Again,
need to turn it
Marquis.
into a contest for something like
For
St.
charity.
Jude's or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Let's do it to
We're
it.
going to do that after the season. You want to do that, Mike? We'll do it.
I think I think that it would be something that I could clearly take down. Now, how I would be after the fact would be another story.
Light work, Mike.
That I love
Yeah.
a Reese's peanut butter.
You know
cup.
what? Anytime you want a piece.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, so go ahead with your program. Welcome to the radio show.
Go on
What
with
do
the chlorophyll.
What do we call this program? J Mart and Ramon.
Whatever.
Go right ahead with the program.
Zach Cunningham, Mike.
Yes.
Titans were able to
J
get him.
Mart, Ramon, and Zach Cunningham.
Yeah, there you go. 358 solo tackles, 570 if you
Mike.
add in the combines. He's got an interception. He's got 5 forced fumbles. He had 164 tackles in the 2020 season. Had a couple disciplinary issues this year, but Texans maybe
haven't
not
we
where he
all?
wants to be. Yeah, apparently, yeah.
I think I'm going to have one after this appearance. So
You definitely sound like you're employed by the team when you say that. Oh, red flags, haven't we all? No. What does Zach Cunningham mean? How interested are you to see what he could add to this team?
Okay, so some background. I love Zach Cunningham. I loved him when he played at Vanderbilt. I love a guy with that kind of height and that kind of length and what he's able to do sideline to sideline. I mean, he is a dominating player. I'm interested to talk to the Titans people in the personnel side because if I remember correctly, they loved Zach Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I just as a football fan, I'm elated. And knowing where this football team is at this point and knowing sort of where Zach Cunningham is at this point, I think it's a great fit. And, from what the cost is, from what he's, from where he is right now from a standpoint that he's coming out of a situation that's clearly different. Let's go with different. And he's coming into one of the more stable situations in the NFL with a team that has a chance to win something special.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Zach Cunningham will be motivated. I think he'll be excited. I don't know if he plays Sunday. The thing that I would say about that, though, is if he's going to play Sunday, it's certainly a team he knows.
Yeah, it's in division, so he's going to know what they're doing.
It's in division.
Right.
And I would ask Ramon, I would think if you're a linebacker who does what he does and you're playing against a team you've already seen this year, I would think that's a position you probably could jump right in, especially knowing he has a past with Vrabel.
It is. And the other part of it is he plays linebacker.
Right.
Those guys are most of the time are the signal callers or the play callers that get everybody lined up. So at least to that point of having a familiar opponent in the Jaguars, I'm more than sure that most divisional teams attack each other the same. If I see the Jaguars doing something, then I'm going to do it to them also. If I saw the Titans do this to them, I'm going to do that also. So the base of what they need to get done, him understanding the game plan, and if for anything, if he does play, it's going to be simple for him. You can't overload him this week. I say he would play this week, considering if everything, of course, with the COVID protocol and everything checks out. I'd say he would play because the game plan would at least be similar to where he can translate the terminology from his old team to his new team. And then again, Coach Mack brought this up. Very valuable point. You need bodies.
Sure.
And more importantly, he's an experienced body in his league.
And he didn't play last week.
No.
Right.
So he's a healthier body. He had a bye last week.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't seem like David Long is tracking in the right direction right now. Feels like Rashaan Evans and Jayon Brown are back, and that's great. But, I mean, for the Titans, I just think it's a huge move. And to me, it's like adding Jordan Wilkins on the practice squad at running back, adding Golden Tate at wide receiver. Even if they don't have to play this week, adding Racey McMath back at practice coming off IR, even if they don't have to play this week, man, you've got some nice options heading down the stretch. And as those guys get more time, they get better. That's been one of the complicated things. It's like these running backs who didn't have practice for 3 months, and then they get hit in a game and they fumble. Sure they do.
Right.
I'm not saying it's acceptable, but that's what happens. The only way to get ready to play football is to play football. You can run and lift and all these things, but there is a different sore, there is a different preparation, there is a different feel for playing football. It's why getting out in pads every once in a while during the week is so beneficial because you're getting used to angles and timing, and a lick is coming from a certain angle. That will all get better for Foreman and for Hilliard as they play more. And I think it gets better for Golden Tate as he gets 3, 4, 5 weeks in. It gets better for Jordan Wilkins as he gets in here. I like the Jordan Wilkins pickup a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a veteran guy that's done some things in this league. He's not just bouncing practice squad to practice squad, never in a game. He's done some stuff.
Good size back, really can catch, which is another thing, can play teams. From Tennessee, from Ramon's part of the state, not far from Ramon, as a matter of fact. So, I like what they've been able to do. I feel much better about where the roster is, Jason, because you've got 4, 5, 6 guys back, and then you've been able to add a few pieces. Plus, some of these guys who've been playing, I mean, let's talk Tannehill, okay? He's played 12 straight weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten hit 12 straight weeks. I mean, he's got to be physically better and then take the guys who get hit on every play, offensive line, defensive line. Harold Landry, who's been playing through some things. It's a big help to have the time when they got him.
And when you mention and Cunningham, it's $275,000. Like, that's peanuts, considering that he was a guy that some thought, well, somebody's going to make a move for him, a contender at the trade deadline. He was a name that was being attached to a lot of teams.
I mean, if you made a trade, Jim Wyatt and I were talking about this in the office yesterday as we were jumping up and down. If you made a deal at the deadline on November 2nd for Zach Cunningham, would you have been pleased? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you said, hey, we're giving up a 6 next year for Zach Cunningham, would you have thought that's a good deal? Sure you would. And so now you got him to come back to where he played college football. He's from Pinson, Alabama, so he's near the folks and all the friends. He's got a chance to play for a contender. I mean, the history of this, the history of John Riggins sitting out for a year with the Jets and then going to Washington football team and becoming the Diesel, the history of Charles Haley being unhappy with the 49ers and going to the Cowboys and reviving his career, the history of Randy Moss basically looking like he was done with the Raiders and then going to the Patriots and becoming a force. A lot of times culture creates problems and culture solves problems. Kind of feels like the Zach Cunningham thing has a chance to be a place where culture solves whatever issue was there.
Diana Rossini yesterday with Buck said Derrick Henry, if anybody's coming back faster than expected, it's going to be him. Her source says inside the building, sooner rather than later in terms of a timeline. And then another source said, we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen there. When you hear stuff like this, is it good or bad in terms of the way it's going to make fans feel about a rehab process where still a lot is unknown?
We talked about this on Titans Tonight with Keith Bullock Wednesday night here on 104.5 The Zone. And that is this. Nothing that you're going to hear is going to make a difference until you hear the words, the Titans have given Derrick Henry the opportunity to come back from injured reserve, and he is now eligible to practice. Unless you hear that, nothing else matters. And I mean that sincerely. Diana Rossini does a great job. I'm a big fan. There are lots of reporters that I'm big fans of. But you're not going to hear anything definitive that matters until you hear somebody say, and maybe somebody reports it beforehand that the Titans are about to do this. Okay, whatever. But it doesn't matter until they say he is eligible to return to practice this week, because everything that's happening otherwise doesn't matter towards this process. He's got to be able to get back on the practice field. So I would have optimism about Derrick Henry no matter what, because he's amazing. He's a hard worker. I have optimism about our training staff, about our medical staff. I mean, they're fantastic. They're state-of-the-art. But this deal is very tricky because anybody who's ever been through a foot knows every one of them is vastly different. And who he is, Jason, and what he does is vastly different. So do I think he's going to try? Yeah, because he's Derrick Henry. Do I think they're going to do everything they can? Yes. Am I optimistic? What I am is I've said it in my mind he's not coming back, and then if he does,
it's a bonus.
I'm going to jump up and down like I did when the Zach Cunningham news came out.
Sure.
Probably more.
It's like the bar that has free beer tomorrow sign on the window.
Right.
It's free beer tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow.
But I think there's going to be optimism.
Yeah,
I think you're going to hear that. And I think because I think he's going to put in the work. And like I said, the training staff is fantastic, and they made a designation on him quickly. They got him to surgery quickly. They've done everything they were supposed to do.
So as far as, what you've kind of seen a little bit at practice, you see a little bounce in the step coming off this bye.
Yes, sir.
You see a little bit of, hey, that was the reset we needed.
Yes, sir.
You do.
I see it from legs. I see it from bodies, just having more guys out there. I'm like, the first day when I got to sneak a little peek at Monday's practice, I was like, hey, I know those guys. Because it was some familiar faces suddenly back out there that hadn't been there. And it's not everybody. It's 4, 5, 6 guys. And that's what I think you're going to see over the period of the next 3 to 4 weeks is you're going to see guys blended back in. It's not going to be all at once, but golly, to see Julio Jones, oh, my goodness, to see Dane Cruikshank, to see Racey McMath, who was doing some good things before he got hurt. And then to see Jeremy McNichols, who gives you something that you didn't have in terms of veteran presence, to see your starting right guard, Nate Davis, back out there. Rashaan Evans, golly, so good to see him back in action. So you see the bounce. I think the mental thing is as big a factor in all of this as the physical from this standpoint. How do you do if you're the coaches or you're the front office? So you sit down on Monday and Tuesday to make your game plan, and you say, we've got this guy, and he's going to be a big focus. And you go out to practice on Wednesday, and you're like, yes, this is great. And then you get in the office Thursday, and you're like, so-and-so doesn't feel right.
Man.
And you're like, what? So we've made a plan. There are always going to be adjustments during the week. You understand that. But then you're having to make major adjustments in the plan Thursday, Friday, in some cases Saturday. That's got to wear you out. That absolutely has to wear you out, as if you're in the personnel office, if you're in the coaching office, if you're in the team. Just the overall grind of the job and with it changing all the time. So I think the mental reset is as big a factor as the physical.
The other mental thing, I think it's impossible not to talk about this, is it's wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it if you're a player.
Exactly.
You know it if you're in that building. Nobody in the AFC looks like they're unbeatable. Yeah, New England got you, and yeah, they're the number 1 seed, but Baltimore is so banged up, and you can't trust Cincy. You can't trust the Chargers. Like, all these teams that could beat you or could end up here and could end up there, it's all a coulda. Like, there's so much what if right now. You just can't really determine who's going to come out of the AFC, so why wouldn't it potentially be you?
Well, let me ask you this. If I say New England's going to win the Super Bowl, you would say, well, that's not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
If I say Baltimore's going to win the Super Bowl, you would say, that's not crazy. Well, guess what? If I say Tennessee's going to win the Super Bowl, you're also saying that's not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, you could say that about 7, 8 teams. You maybe could say that about Indianapolis.
Yeah, if they can make the playoffs, they're playing as well as anybody.
If they get hot
mm-hmm.
for their style of football travels.
Yeah.
And so, if they get in, bottom line is, if you're in it, that's all you want. Mm-hmm. Whatever has happened before, Jason, it doesn't matter now.
Mm-hmm.
All of that, losing to Jacksonville, losing to Houston, bad. Beating Kansas City, beating Buffalo, beating the Rams, great. Okay, but that's over. Now it's a 5-game season.
Yep.
And you're in a position that if you're the best team the rest of the way, like Tampa was a year ago, if you're the best team the rest of the way, you win it. And that's all you ask for, which is why Zach Cunningham wakes up this morning and you have to feel like he feels as if he's a new man.
Outhouse to penthouse.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
In terms of what it could be.
Sure.
And certainly where he was is, we'll keep it above the line.
Think he'll be motivated on January 9th?
I would have to think, yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, no question about it. One other quick thing, Mike. I don't know what to say, but Demaryius Thomas.
Oh, man.
33 years old. That had all the respect, apparently. Everybody loved the guy. I've been a Broncos fan my whole life. He's one of my favorite players that ever played for them. I saw Peyton Manning say he's a Hall of Fame level player, which is not just something he throws out there.
No.
And he said, but he's a better person than he was a player. That broke me this morning when I saw that story.
Well, the story of him coming out of Georgia Tech is because Georgia Tech didn't throw.
Right.
And yet everybody, when he was drafted, what did he catch? 20 passes his senior year? Something.
Yep.
Now, he averaged like 30 yards a catch or something ridiculous. But everybody said, oh, this is a guy, this is the real thing. Even though he was a higher pick than what his numbers said, they're like, boy, he's a real thing, because not only is he a great receiver and a great physical talent, but he's a really good person. And he cares about the game, and he cares about his teammates. And nobody ever had a bad thing to say about Demaryius Thomas. And that's something that when you go through, Ramon knows this better than I do, so I'm speaking out of school, but that's rare. Mm-hmm. That's really rare. You've seen opponents this morning say things. You've seen his defensive teammates say things. You've seen guys who played with him 1 or 2 years say things. You've seen Tom Brady. How long was he in New England?
Yep. Not too long.
I mean, 3 months maybe.
He played 9 of 10 seasons in Denver.
Right. And so, that's just tragic. Whenever you lose somebody young, it's just tragic because of the possibilities of what they can do with the rest of their life. I just got to do something exciting with Eddie George for the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, and it's going to come out, and I know Brad Willis is going to be talking to you guys about it in the near future, and so I don't want to totally spoil it, but we talked about what he's trying to do coaching at Tennessee State, and he got deep on that. I mean, Eddie George's post-football life is more remarkable to me than what he did playing football, and I think he belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There's so many of our former players, their post-football life is much more significant. And so to lose Demaryius Thomas and that possibility of what that post-football life could be, that to me is the saddest part because he clearly was something pretty special.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. Looking forward to the call on Sunday.
I'm looking forward to being back.
No question. Health plan from Farm Bureau Health Plans is for folks who are busy planning other things because we provide coverage you can count on. Farm Bureau Health Plans, plan on us. This a quote from Demaryius Thomas. We'll let this send a break. I saw the Players Tribune put this out. He said, as men, as athletes especially, we don't like to talk about love. We talk about brotherhood and all that, but not love. But it's the most important thing in a child's life. More important than the kind of school you go to or what neighborhood you live in or even if you grow up around drugs and violence. If you are loved, you'll make it out. That from the late Demaryius Thomas, gone too soon. RIP 33. We'll be back. It's Jay Martin on 104.5 The Zone. J. Martin Mo, 104.5 The Zone. Taco Fall is 26 today. Deion Waiters is 30. Thought he might have been older than that. Rusty LaRue, 48, former Wake Forest quarterback and basketball player.
Oh, yeah.
Bryant Stith, 51, one of my favorite Virginia Cavs of all
Boy,
time.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Joe Burrow, 25.
He'll be on that top 25 under 25 list next year.
I can sling.
Eric Reed, 30. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, 38.
Cool dude, man.
Yeah, that's amongst
Cooler
your
name.
offensive line fraternity.
The brick.
If Grover doesn't work, we're going to call it DeBrickashaw Martin.
It's just the fact that you keep calling the baby it.
The Brickashaw Lamonte Aloysius Martin.
Yeah, buddy.
Will be the blackest white child.
Blackest white child ever.
Kenneth Branagh, 61, Moan.
Sir.
Branagh. What is in Batman?
It's not a.
It's not right.
I mean, that one actually felt right,
Am
Ramon.
I in the neighborhood?
I mean,
am I driving by?
You're kind of taking a peek at the
I'm
neighbors.
taking a peek. I'm actually going into houses and not buying them.
Right.
Ah.
Yeah, you have other people do it for you.
That's right.
When you got it like that.
By the way, I saw the
Okay.
picture the other night of the one Christmas tree. I was looking for the other 40.
See, there y'all go.
That's why we haven't been invited yet, because you don't want us to
That's
see
all right.
the 6 Christmas trees
Porch-
that are there
the
now.
porch is done.
Okay.
By
I'm
the
ready
way,
to come out to the porch. I've been saving that cigar for the porch.
come over this weekend. I'll be chilling.
Hey, I got nothing to do. I'll come over.
Come
I got
on
the gate
over.
code. I can come up.
Come on over.
Kenneth Branagh,
Kenneth Branagh, Batman Returns.
still not right, but
No,
he
no.
was the villain in Tenet. Also directed a 4-hour version of Hamlet. It was pretty good. He's
Second
the
time.
director of Belfast, which
All right.
is going to be up
So,
for Best Picture this year at the
This
Oscars.
is the degrees of separation. He was in that movie Tenet. Christopher Nolan, who made movies for
That's
Thomas Tull. That's the connection to you.
No, the connection is just
Oh.
Christopher Nolan did Batman films. So when he said Batman, I was like, okay, well,
Well,
that's
no, I understand, but I'm saying he
I
even
know.
has a personal.
That's true. He does
connection.
have a Thomas
Yeah.
Tull connection. Well, I mean, Tenet wasn't legendary, though, I don't think. Maybe it was.
No, but Nolan worked with Tull for the Batman.
which
movies.
put
Come
him
on,
over the
why are
top.
you making it? You know what?
Come on.
You know what?
You, Aaron Rodgers.
Thank you. Sometimes we just do. Come on, man.
Bobby Flay, 57, Moan.
The cook.
Of course.
Hey,
I knew you'd get that one.
absolutely.
Raven Simone, 36.
Hey, Cosby Show.
And that's
So
so Raven.
Raven.
Hey, you've gotten 2 right today.
Well, I just gave him 2 layups. I mean, layups.
Thief of Joy, Shave. It's Friday.
Dude.
I got those right because I'm good. Because
Meg White, 47.
Betty's white niece.
Betty's white niece?
Yes.
Betty who?
Betty White.
Because you said Betty's white niece. I don't know if her
Who's
her-
Betty?
her-
Who's Betty?
Her aunt could be Betty for all I know.
Yeah, I mean,
Golden
I don't know.
Girls.
Yeah.
Golden Girls.
Betty's white niece. That means something completely different when you put the apostrophe and S in there.
You're
Ramon.
right. I did. I put an extra.
You
S
put the
in there.
possessive in there.
Meg
Possessive.
White.
From Family Guy. Meg.
That's Meg.
Shut up, Meg.
Ah.
Who is Meg White? I've never heard of Meg White before.
You know who it is?
Baby
Ron?
Driver?
Who it is?
The White Stripes.
Correct.
Meg
Yeah.
White.
Drummer of the White Stripes with Jack. They divorced in 2000.
Who
Oh,
I
they were
stalked
married.
around an antique store on 8th Avenue one day.
What?
You stalked Meg White around?
No, I stalked Jack White around.
Oh, okay.
Meg
My
and
wife saw him eating ice cream with his kids and just kind of gave him
I'm not proud of
gave
it.
him the I live in Nashville, so I'm
Nah,
not gonna overdo this.
I did the national salute to Keith and Nicole one day. With Jack, I kind of stalked him around a little bit.
Megan Martha White. She has an album called Icky Thump.
Well, that's the
No,
White
Icky
Stripes.
Thump, Icky Thump was the opening to
Yeah.
the Big Six and
Jason's
was the
old show.
opening to the Jason Martin Show on Fox Sports Radio. Both of those two things.
Icky Thump.
Emmanuel Shikri is 46. Hey
Sh-
now.
Sherlock Holmes.
That is a hey now.
No.
Sherlock Holmes. Was he in Old School?
It's a she.
It's a she. God,
Emmanuel, not Emmanuel Sanders.
didn't sound much different. Project X.
No.
Even know
Either
what
one, not the monkey one with Matthew Broderick or the one from a couple of years ago.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
The neighbor. The Hills Have Eyes.
I'll say this, Jason. I know who she is, but I don't know what she's been in.
Entourage.
I never watched Entourage.
Michael Scott voice.
I never watched Entourage.
You haven't?
No, I
She
didn't.
was Ease on again,
No,
off again
I didn't-
on
I
Entourage.
didn't like
She's done a lot of
Entourage.
stuff. I got over it pretty quick.
I didn't like it.
Of course, you know I liked it.
She's done a lot of things. Look her up during the break.
On
And
your computer?
It's probably okay.
On this internet.
It's probably okay.
On your private network.
Okay, I go off the Wi-Fi.
615-737-1045. Fourth hour still to come after the headlines. We will look at the NFC a little bit because why not? We choose violence. Then Buck Reising will join us. It's Jay Martin and Mo, 1045 The Zone.
How does it feel?
Oh, have I told you about my friends Brian's Motorsports in Hendersonville, Tennessee? If you don't know the address, you hadn't heard of them, you know what? Let me enlighten you. At 789 West Main Street in Hendersonville, Tennessee, go see the guys that do great work on anything you have. And I'm talking about from exotics to a Jeep to a Bronco to a Ford to a Chevy. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want, they have it. And I'm here to tell you also, J. Martin Ramon will be live on site at Brian's Motorsports Tuesday, December 14th from 6 to 10 a.m. And the holiday season is the perfect time to upgrade your kids or your spouse's truck or car and give it a gift that's going to last a long time. If you've been dreaming of a custom design for your vehicle, call Brian's Motorsports. Whether it's a lift, custom wheels, leather interior, audio and electronics, windows tint, or a vinyl wrap, Brian's Motorsports, the home of fresh cutting-edge custom builds for all brands of vehicles, including the exotics that you might have in your garage. Are you a Jeep owner that wants the ultimate off-road package? Brian's Motorsports is the undisputed leader of Jeep customizations. Brian's Motorsports can give it an aggressive off-road appearance and performance that has made Brian's Motorsports an undisputed leader of all off-road upgrades. They offer tire and wheel packages, lift kits, lighting kits, winches, interior and audio customizations, graphics, and a combination of everything listed from mild to wild to make your off-road experience what you have dreamed of. What makes them different is they listen to you, the customer. Hear your vision and putting together your dream vehicle is what they do. If you know Brian, you know this to be true. Dream, design, and build was inspired by their team that wanted to make your dreams come true. Brian's Motorsports specializes in everything you can think of. Check out their Instagram at Brian's Motorsports, or again, go see them at 789 West Main Street in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
It is 9:03. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer. Thursday Night Football. What looked like was going to be a snoozer turned into an exciting finish. The Minnesota Vikings nearly blew a 29-point lead, but held on to defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 36-28. Steelers nearly scored a touchdown on the last play of the game, but Harrison Smith knocked the ball out of the hands of Pat Freiermuth to secure the victory for Minnesota. Vikings are 6-7. Steelers 6-1. Steelers will host the Titans coming up next Sunday. Titans claim linebacker Zach Cunningham off waivers from the Houston Texans yesterday. The former Vanderbilt star had a career-high 164 tackles last season, second highest total in the NFL. Former Denver Broncos wide receiver Demaryius Thomas found dead in his home yesterday. He was 33 years old. Nashville Predators defeated the New York Islanders 4-3, won the game with 11 and a half seconds remaining. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once. On over the Titans and Vols, this is 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? Fourth hour, hashtag fastest 4 hours in radio is upon you, upon us. Blessed to bring it to you courtesy of all Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville. This show's run the gamut. It's been ridiculous, and then at times it's been the exact opposite. If you missed any part of the show, podcast us. We'd appreciate that. J. Martin Ramon, wherever you get your podcast, share it, rate it. Drop us a 5 stars if you think we're worthy of that. We greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I'd mentioned what you just said, Shafe. I had seen it and retweeted it a few minutes ago.
Well,
a lot of stuff coming out about Demaryius Thomas.
For those joining us, what I told Ramon right before we started was Wesley Lumberjack on Twitter just broken up about the death of Demaryius Thomas for obvious reasons, of course.
Of course, played together in Denver, and if you see everything that's being said about DT from everybody that was around him, I haven't seen a single negative thing from anybody. Relentlessly positive and over the moon positive. Peyton Manning, again, who doesn't just dole out compliments, said he's a better person than he was a player, and he's a Hall of Fame player, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Tim Tebow, I saw him say his friend passed away, and Tebow's broken up. Tebow's on TV right now. But, yeah, it just, 33 years old, seizures, and had a seizure in the shower.
Yeah. Regular everyday living, man. That's why I had to reach out to Wes in a little bit, man.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'd take it differently, too, because as older guys in the league, and Wes is older than him, obviously, you take guys on your wing. And I've always heard him talk about DT, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if y'all on social media, holler at Wes, man. Send him some encouraging words because, again, if you're a fan of the Titans, he definitely gave you some good memories, too. So, and he's a friend of ours here, so we'll reach out.
Let's go to Goody Mike in Cleveland. I know what Goody Mike means, but let's go to Mike in Cleveland. Mike, what's up?
Goody Mike.
What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Yeah, it's a good thing I'm Goody Mike. I'm Holy Mike on this, this occasion. I just want to. Well, I was really calling to talk about the Steelers and pump my two-tone brothers up.
Go ahead.
The Steelers. Yeah, man, the Steelers. It was looking bad for Big Ben, but dog, really. That loss wasn't nothing on him. It just sucks because to see him go out that way where it's the supporting cast around him. It's not even him. But, they're coming up to them two-tone, the Titans coming up. And so his supporting cast, y'all just keep on doing what y'all doing so we can get that dub. And
I knew it was coming.
Yo, yeah, you know me, bro. I'm not going to let you off that easy. But, yeah, let's go out here. Let's beat these kitty cats up. Let's not go ahead and think that, we about to lay down. The season ain't over, and we still got Super Bowl aspirations, and we still right there, baby. And rest in peace to DT, man. Y'all hug y'all peoples. Y'all love y'all peoples. Let your brothers know what they mean to you while they still here. You know, let's not wait till they gone. I got love for all y'all. Real talk.
Absolutely.
Blessings and prayers. Doses.
You too, Mike. Appreciate it. Yeah, what he's saying about the Jags, you just go handle business. We said this before. When you're playing against a team like this, this isn't one you can drop if you're the Titans. This is one where you're coming off the bye. I'm not saying you need to make a statement. You just need to do what you're paid to do, which is go win a game, especially against a team that has no reason to be playing, that isn't feeling good about itself. That's probably – Shad Khan knows he made a mistake with Urban Meyer. That's real obvious. The current tight ends coach with the Jags is leaving. They announced that.
Did they?
He's going to college to join somebody's staff.
I wonder if Herb
I can't
brought
remember where I
in
saw it a minute ago.
a college staff. Like, I've looked at their staff, and, you know, I didn't dissect where they're from, who's this guy, who's this connected to. Don't tell me this guy brought in a college staff also.
Well, no. I mean, he had, Brian Schottenheimer, and there were some other guys, but I can't remember where it was he's going.
I feel like all of the NFL will be mad if Urban Meyer breaks Trevor Lawrence. Like, as much as you don't want him to be good as a Titans fan, you got to be chapped if he screws this up. Like, God, it's good when you got good players in the league, too. Like, let's not forget that. I'm sure a lot of teams hate Derrick Henry, but they love watching them when they're not playing them, too.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you can let it happen again. I think you have to bring in the right hire. You got to bring in a coach that wants to try and build something. It has been a disaster. It has not worked. It was a miscalculation. You've got to get out from underneath it because Trevor's the most important draft pick you've ever made there. Probably in the history of the franchise.
Leftwich was pretty solid.
Yeah,
Leftwich was up there. I got to give that to him.
I'm
also.
saying in terms of your number one overall.
Number 1 overall.
This is the quarterback that's supposed to be the one where now our franchise becomes relevant.
Yeah.
And right now they're not. And right now he's not playing very well. And they're banged up and hurt. James Robinson, we still don't know what's going to happen there. But he's also not happy.
Did you see what Trevor said yesterday? Trevor said James Robinson needs to be on the field. That was crazy for him. A young guy like him, it ain't crazy for him to say because he's always been a leader type. He's always been a winner. He knows, what it takes to win, and I'm sure there's been certain people that's mentoring him along this journey of this hard rookie year for himself to say, hey, you got to take over that team. On a bad team, the high draft picks, the big money guys, they outlast the coach. And I'm more than sure somebody's got in his ear, hey, you're going to outlast Urban. So don't let this team mentality turn to a loser mentality under your watch.
Well, he said, in my eyes, obviously, I'm the one that's out. See all the pieces moving. I see the whole picture. Bottom line is James is one of our best players. He's got to be on the field, and we addressed it, and I feel like we're in a good spot, and the whole team, we're good. Whatever may have happened, I honestly don't even know everything that went into it. I'm playing a game, and stuff happens on the sideline with coaching decisions. I don't really get into that, but I know, and I voice my opinion. James is one of our best players, and he's got to be in the game. I think we're all on the same page. There's no confusion there. We're going to move forward. I know James is a hell of a player, so I want him out there.
Tell me who's the coach without telling me who's the coach. Or not even who's the leader. This has been a couple times this year where Urban Meyer has kind of done this type of thing.
Well, listen to how Urban describes it.
Uh-oh. You actually – oh, man.
So Robinson was benched for 16 plays after he fumbled against Atlanta on November 28th. And 20 plays after fumbling against the Rams on Sunday.
Understandable, right? I get that.
Here's what Urban Meyer says. I wasn't aware of how long Robinson was held out of the games. I don't micromanage my assistant coaches. The decision on when to play James Robinson belonged to running backs coach Bernie Parmalee.
Somebody get the numbers on that bus.
And he said, you bench yourself. If you lay the ball on the ground, you come out for a few plays, then it's up to the position coach and whatever to put you back in whenever that's time. And that's not just James, that's whomever. When the ball goes on the ground, you come out. Well, let me just tell you this, Herb. Shad Khan needs to take that advice because you've been dropping balls ever since you got to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
All the jokes I want to say right now.
I know. I'm holding myself back.
Got to be above the line.
Yep. But you're right, Jay. I mean, those conversations, let's not forget the rumblings that were happening in camp. The winners and losers stuff, we hadn't forgot that. The Tim Tebow experiment, we hadn't forgot that. Like, let's be honest, you went and drafted a first-round running back. We hadn't forgotten that. It's been a lot of, miscues from himself, and it's continued the entire year. You also yourself, Herb, had a public situation. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you got to be a representation of your team publicly also.
Yep. It's just bad, and you can tell it's bad, and you can tell it's a mistake, and the Titans are going to win on Sunday. I'm here to tell you that. They just are.
Mm-hmm.
They just are. We'll come back. Buck Reising will pop in, or he'll talk to us. I don't know if he's on the phone or if he's coming.
He's already in the building.
No, he's not.
He got here before 9 o'clock.
The guy's here.
Must be like a district manager here. All the employees show up early the day the DM's going to be in.
Stupid.
Tucking in the shirts. No snacks, cigarettes left in the car.
Front tucks.
Nobody front tucks. We'll be right back. It's Jay Martin and Mo 104.5 The Zone. I wasn't expecting that. Shay Martin, Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Buck Reising is with us, of course, of the Buck Reising Show.
Feelings mutual.
I was about to say your response.
Yeah.
Feelings mutual.
Feelings mutual. Good morning, boys.
Good morning, Buck.
Oh, my
How
goodness.
are we living on this Friday?
We're doing all right.
Large and in charge.
Oh, okay. Is that because of the Reese's in front of us?
I mean, it's just Friday. You feel me? You feel me, Buck? By the way, Shafe, do that drop that we like today. Sometimes we just do. See, that's what we do.
Ooh, that's a little smooth.
And you don't even know what it means.
It means nothing.
It doesn't have to. It can mean everything.
See? You didn't even know what it was, and you was just like, it was smooth. Yeah. If I told you, Buck, tonight we going out, and sometimes we just do. What you gonna think?
We're about to do it. That's all it's got to mean.
I'm gonna
see this, Jason. This is like those weird acid trip meta commercials.
No, I got you.
That are running all over the place. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
Ayahuasca.
Will Smith.
A little bit of tea. Oh boy.
You
All
see
right.
the petition going around between him and his wife? Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith got to stop doing interviews in public.
Oh, by the way, can they both just shut
See what I'm saying?
Well, but this is
oversharing.
But hey, man, they proved that they're true love
by
because
sleeping with
they're
other
divorcing.
people.
Cool story, bro.
Working it out, Buck.
Sometimes
we just do.
No vowels.
It makes no sense, but all at the same time.
And
Buck.
for the vast majority of people who have no idea what the hell we're talking about, we like to call this segment "Google It."
Not on a work computer.
No.
No, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. So, how dumb was Chase Claypool?
Go ahead, Buck. Come on now.
Celebrating the first down yesterday. On the scale of dumbest things in sports this week.
Buddy, ring the bell. Like, that's tough. You had to be going through it last night because they even and I don't know how you experience this as an athlete, but I know as sports fans, like if you're gonna lose, you may as well get blown out so you don't have to worry about it the rest, so you can move on with your day.
I was ready to go to bed.
That's what I'm saying. Especially you guys doing morning radio where it sucks the life out of you between 6 and 10 a.m. You're right. Yeah. I love you both, but this is going to age you at a very, very rapid rate.
No question.
Living life, Buck.
I watched that. I was astounded because I always have this stuff on in the background because I'm finishing up prime time right in the middle of Thursday night football, and the Steelers are relevant because that's the Titans' next opponent. Even if Ben Roethlisberger, God love him, and I mean this respectfully, he looks like he is just a trash bag full of broken glass.
He's done.
At this point.
Over.
Buddy, it is over.
If for anything, they drew the life out of him this year.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is that as well. But with that comeback last night, I was watching that and thinking, okay, I saw them look competent is probably not high enough praise against the Ravens. Like, I thought they played and executed their game plan very well against the Ravens. And then I'm watching this and saying, okay, this is what they're capable of as a football team when the Titans travel to play them at Pittsburgh next Sunday. But then to watch Chase Claypool I mean, he could have hit the nuclear button, the big red button. Don't touch it. That was what that celebration amounted to in that moment.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins and Mike Zimmer finally, in 7 games, where the game has come down to not the last possession, but the last play of the game. You talk about sometimes we just do. That is what the Vikings are just doing.
We just don't.
Yeah. Sometimes we just do.
But last night they did.
Kirk Cousins is not good.
I don't know.
Not good in the realm of, look, man, he overthrew Justin Jefferson. He's off all the time. Justin Jefferson could be the best receiver in football in like a year or two.
I don't think anybody hates he would never say this publicly, but I don't think anybody hates Kirk Cousins the way Justin Jefferson does. I feel it. I feel the energy.
You feel the energy?
I've seen that. I mean, you know this as a player, Ramon. They tell you specifically if something goes wrong, don't throw your hands up in the air. Don't sell your teammates out.
Nope.
But I see Justin Jefferson get halfway up, like a shoulder, just a tension.
He's young enough to where he doesn't have a big say-so. Soon as he starts getting all pros or his second contract That quarterback gonna know how he feels.
He's probably thinking, like, the quarterback is the reason why I'm not already. Get it together, Kirk.
Chase Claypool then threw Trey Turner under the bus in the press conference after the game.
No.
Yeah, you need to go watch that. I retweeted that. I'm like, I did not see
No.
that the same way. He goes, look, I was getting up. I wasn't doing anything. I was getting up. I was waiting to hand the ball to the official as he was walking over. Then Trey comes up and grabs it out of the hand, and he's the reason that we missed the play.
Yeah, and he goes.
him under
he tries
the
to
bus.
reel it back in and say, you know what? And I got to be better in that situation. But and then he ended it with the backwards forward and backwards and forward. And he said, but if Trey didn't come over and hit the ball, then we could have had more time. You got to hear the drop.
It's like, Chase, buddy, don't make it worse. We all saw it.
All right, we may have to do a special Friday edition of the dumbest thing in sports.
It's definitely the winner. It's definitely the winner.
Well, I
so
feel like there's something else to well, also Trevor Lawrence saying that James Robinson should be on the field too.
And Urban Meyer saying that's Bernie Parmalee that could have put him back in the game. Are you the head coach?
We driving buses.
No. Urban Meyer is he's just there. And he's going to continue to be there because for Urban Meyer to be one and done, it would take some self-admission of, I don't want to do this job, or I'm the problem here.
Shad Khan's going to figure that out. If he hadn't already, he should have already figured it out.
If he wasn't going to get fired, they won the London game, which I thought if you were going to get rid of him, that would have been the moment to do it, where you have an extended period of time to kind of get your house in order. And that was coming off, of course, the scandal in Urban Meyer's Ale House, where him and co-eds are hammering Shelly Teenies named for Shelly Meyer in just the ultimate. We looked up the menu on the show.
No!
I looked up the menu of Urban Meyer's Ale House, and I found the Shelly Teeny, and it made it feel extra dirty.
The Shelly Teeny?
That's right.
Extra dirty. Pun intended.
Yes, thank you for ruining my subtlety. Thank you for ruining my subtle joke. I tried to slide it in there.
Jack's tight.
What we do here,
He just kicked the door down. He's the Kool-Aid man.
Oh, yeah. Jack's tight end coach is headed to Virginia Tech also. That was announced this morning.
Oh, we have the audio of Urban talking about this.
The James Robinson
Yeah,
thing?
we do. Yep.
He is
Jason's baby.
I think that there is so much that when you look at the Urban Meyer experience, I don't think you could find anybody, even in the world of where everybody has the take, of anybody standing on the hill of Urban Meyer is going to be able to do this job well. There was nobody doing that. But I think the thing that surprises you the most is that Urban Meyer has at least been CEO of high-level, high-scrutiny programs before in the world of college football, and that the organization of this thing would be comparable to that. Now, maybe we're exposing things about Urban Meyer and what was actually happening in Ohio State and
Try not to
Florida.
talk about exposing Urban Meyer.
Well, Urban Meyer is the one we have to be worried about exposing things.
Sit on it and spin.
Well, I mean,
I love that drop, by the way.
Well, good, because I got a lot more of it, big guy.
Go ahead. We're just throwing you all off the rails. Well, you get.
Did you wait?
She does say
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Schaefer did this intentionally.
No, I did not.
Yes,
Actually,
you
no, I
did.
did not. I actually did not. She says spin.
Okay.
But
because I think you're dangerously close to being a category on a website that you should not look up on a work computer.
But Ramon, don't look that up on your Google. She says spit.
This is ridiculous.
But the way that her voice faded out at the end, it made it sound like she said something else.
Okay.
Phrasing.
There it is.
I thought you said what you thought she said, Shafe, just a second ago.
I think that we better move away from this before we
Let's
all
talk
get
about
fired.
Zach Cunningham, Buck.
Shall we?
Go ahead. Sometimes we just do.
Yeah.
What is that to you?
A surprise, certainly. I looked like a horse's ass the other day.
Every day.
Well, there's that.
Because you said that you wouldn't get to the Titans.
I
So
would-
did everybody else.
Sure, but I should not, and I didn't say it
By
definitively.
the way, are the Brussels sprouts in this studio today?
Yeah, Zach Lyons is going to come in here and eat a plate of microwaved Brussels
Do
sprouts.
you know how terrible that's going to smell?
Well, I'll leave the door open.
Oh, you're cooking the Brussels sprouts?
or microwaving.
So the rest of the building's going to smell that?
Well, yeah, but
this was not well thought out.
This is like
no,
fish.
this was well
like
thought out.
fish in
It's-
an office, man.
You
can't
guys
do
just
it.
have. Okay, so let me explain. Reel it back in. Rewind. Everybody relax. before I get to my Zach Cunningham.
5 letters here.
Yeah.
RELAX.
All right, whatever, Aaron. I don't want to hear anything more from him for the rest of time.
You, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I would say to you that Zach Lyons, who hosts the Football and Other F Words podcast, he said he would eat an entire plate of Brussels sprouts, which he detests, if Zach Cunningham was claimed by the Titans on waivers. So I have invited Zach Lyons into the studio. I'm going to microwave a bunch of terrible microwavable Brussels sprouts, and he is going to eat them live on camera as I do a radio show. Now, the repercussions of this is it's probably going to smell like Brussels sprouts in this studio, but I'm willing to sacrifice everybody's comfort level for my comedy. So everybody just relax.
Never mess up.
Says the guy who got shaved on the air one day.
You get shaved on the air, too?
I got my head shaved.
Oh, man.
I lost a bet to David Reed. It was a tough scene. Indiana lost a bowl game to Tennessee.
To who? All right, I'm done. You can tell it's Friday.
All right, so you were so you were surprised, as were many. I figured somebody else would probably grab him first, but now that he's here, what does it mean?
It means that the Titans have a long-term solution at linebacker in a way that they did not. They may have thought they did, but not in this kind of way. Jayon Brown and Rashaan Evans are in all likelihood going to be out this season. There could be a situation where they find a way to do avoidable years contract like they did with Jayon this season because he was underwhelmed with his market value, and this is the place that made the most sense for him. But he has since lost his role as primary starter in this defense. That belongs to David Long, and I reported that
that's your story.
Months ago. But, Jayon is serviceable depth. He's above average depth. You are waiting for the time when you can see Rashaan Evans and David Long out on the field. Rashaan Evans is going to be out there before David Long is. That's why, as I talked about earlier this week, they were working out inside linebackers at the practice facility on Tuesday. It's why they almost brought Will Compton back before he took a better deal with the Raiders. So Zach Cunningham gets waived, and you're thinking, well, we don't know exactly where they were in the waiver order because it's not an overly complex, but it's kind of difficult to figure out when all of these teams have the same schedule, and then the NFL's deciding the waiver order based on their measurement of strength of schedule. But when I look at this, I say that this is a player that Mike Vrabel scouted, that Mike Vrabel knows, that plays within the defensive system that Mike Vrabel and Shane Bowen have coached and that they coached when they were on the Houston Texans staff, and he's a high-level player. This is one of the most promising young inside linebackers in professional football, and you just happen to get him for pennies on the dollar, and he's under contract until 2024.
Yeah, and I guess the only thing is you just look at it and be like, well, there were some issues, but were the issues just I don't want to be in Houston, so I'm going to show out just a little bit. This is the whole you went to sleep this and you woke up 7-0, 8-0 kind of thing.
Sure.
That
Your boy
Von
Von Miller
talked about my Broncos at the time or whatever. Well, this is a guy that literally went from the most dysfunctional organization probably in all of American team sports right now to a team that is definitely a contender.
Oh, sure. And I think that when you break this down, we don't know. I'm not in Houston. I don't cover the Houston Texans. I have friends who cover Houston, and I've kind of talked to them about that. And it seems like the situation around Zach Cunningham is he saw an opportunity to make a mess and thought that if they were making him inactive for a game, and they've done that to Justin Reed, their starting safety, the Houston Texans, because there is there's just a general unhappiness dwelling over that organization really since, it's been almost a calendar year, it feels like. Zach Cunningham understands that he is able to make a mess with a new coaching staff and probably shoot his way out of there a little bit in a way that now finds him on a better roster, on a contender in the same division, and he still gets a crack at Houston in Week 18, assuming that all stays well with health, which is, as all Titans fans know, not a promise. But it is as good a situation. It's a great break for a team that desperately needs one.
Right.
As far as good, competent, high-level athletes on the roster that are available to you. This is the kind of break that you need to help propel you down the stretch this season.
So the other one, and I heard this is one of your big topics on yesterday's show, and I've been thinking about the same thing. John Robinson didn't bring Julio Jones here to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He did not.
He didn't bring Julio Jones here really and truly, at least for my money, especially with what the record is, really bring him here for the regular season. I mean, certainly he had to replace Corey. So he was going to come in here and be somebody that was going to be counted on. But the point here is, can Julio catch balls for you in the playoffs? Right? Like, that's what you need him for. At this point in time where you are with the record, you want him healthy for the playoffs because those are the games where he hopefully earns his salary.
I don't care if he plays another snap in the regular season. I know Titans fans don't want to hear that. I know they want to go to the game on Thursday Night Football, and all of America wants to turn on 49ers Titans and watch Julio Jones play in a football game the way that this was sold to us as a packaged goods with, what did Mike Keith call him at the start of the season? The Four Horsemen with Tannehill, Julio, A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, and the only one left is Ryan Tannehill, and he's just barely out there at this point. I think that if Julio Jones contributes in a meaningful way in the postseason to help propel this team to the AFC Championship game, win or lose, trade's worth it. Because if you get a game within the Super Bowl and if you put yourself in a position to compete for one of the final spots, one of the final four, ideally you would like to win in advance to the Super Bowl and then find a way to win a championship. But if you get into the AFC Championship and Julio Jones has anything to do with it, trade worth it to me.
So as far as, this Sunday and moving forward, with if Julio's back out there playing also, you expect NWI to be the guy moving forward a little bit because of the flies that Julio attracts. Meaning, look, if Shaquille Griffin's going to play, he's probably going to guard Julio.
Yep.
So 2 and 3, whoever they are, if it's Golden Tate or whatever, they got to be the guy. Like, that's the whole point of a guy like Julio. So you send Bud or if Big Jeff's getting double teamed, Thierry eats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If somebody else is getting double teamed, then Harold eats.
Yeah.
That's the mindset that you got to have, and NWI has got to be that guy, whether he wants it or not.
He's competent. Like,
Yeah,
NWI is a fine player, but they don't fear. Nobody fears NWI, and I don't mean to say that to be dismissive of
his
him.
reputation isn't there yet.
There is not enough of a body of work, or at this point on film, to say, all right, we need to take away that guy because that's their guy, because he was their leading receiver and he had 25 yards against the Patriots. Okay, like, let's be realistic about what this is. It's not just what Julio does when he has the ball in his hands. It's the fact that a defense has to account for him. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that they cannot continue to exist as this constipated offense reminiscent of Marcus Mariota era type stuff, where your average depth of target at its best is 9.9 yards. Like, it can't be that way. And they have the ability with Dontrell Hilliard, if he can hold on to the damn football, to get explosive plays in the running game. I think that Dontrell Hilliard has some juice. And I think Deontay Foreman is a good change of pace for that. But I think more than anything, there has to be something that allows them to move the ball, because I don't care about them being in games and scoring a touchdown to make the final margin of victory look a little closer.
And all right.
You're in the NFL. We talked about Kirk Cousins earlier. Kirk Cousins is as guilty of this as anybody in football. No, I don't need you to just be efficient and operate the offense.
Come on now.
Time to move the ball. And the Titans in the passing game cannot do that as of late.
Yeah. Hey, look, there's the old Don Draper. I'll bring it back up, Moan. There it is. That's what the money is for.
Money is for. I love that drop. If we can get that, hey, don't tell me, hey, nobody cares about the labor pains. You guys that play football, deliver the baby. And the baby is that point. Go do your job. Like, if you're out there and you got a playbook, I expect you to do your thing. One of my biggest mottos is I use it for my stars are born every year in this league. Are you trying to be one? Justin Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? Stars are born every year in this league. There's so many no-name guys you don't know of.
Stars also fall every year in this league.
Yeah, they do. Like, be the guy. I like that point, Buck.
Thank you.
You mind if I take constipated offense, too? That was good.
No, you may.
I'm taking that one.
I'm licensing it to you.
Yeah, that's some turd stuff right there.
$2 a day. So what then, Buck?
You're paid up.
If that offense is constipated, then what is the Miralax that gets things back on track?
Sometimes we just do. Sometimes we just do.
Here's the thing, okay? Miralax would be the quarterback. The quarterback is responsible for this. And I am sympathetic to Ryan Tannehill, but also I'm very aware that he needs to do a better job protecting the football.
Yeah.
Like, he has to be, I appreciate his confidence. I don't want them to try and rein that in, but you have to be aware of who's out there with you and, more importantly, who's not out there with you. So Ryan Tannehill, I am a legitimate. I believe that the Titans are a Super Bowl caliber team because I believe in the quarterback, not because I believe in Julio Jones, not because I believe in I mean, Derrick Henry is obviously a big part of that. But if you are a believer in the Titans, you are a believer because of what the quarterback is capable of. And I know that quarterback to be capable of more than what we're seeing right now.
All fair. Who's coming up on the show today?
We got Rodger Saffold. We got Big Smooth. We have Coach Dave McGinnis. And Zach Lyons is going to come in here and eat a full plate of Brussels sprouts.
Said he's on the way already. He tweeted at us.
Oh, yes! Tough scene.
We're getting out of here at 10. So you do whatever it is that you got to do.
Run.
He got Reese's to wash it down. Well, he'll be all right. He tough, right?
Doubtful.
Ask Rodger what he thinks of Rick Ross's new album.
Ooh.
Fire.
We could do so. I
listened on the way in, Buck.
Did you?
Yeah, it's nice.
I like that they put new music out on Fridays now as opposed to Tuesdays.
Yeah, it all used to be Tuesdays in pop culture, and Friday just hits better because you have a weekend immediately as opposed to 3 more days of the week before you can get really into it.
Trying to gas it up with the boss. I see you.
Buck will listen to you in 20 minutes, brother.
Goodbye, friends.
My guy.
He'll also be on the Lee Company countdown to kickoff at 9, 8. Yeah, he's shaking his head. Yes, got it right. All vowels, no consonants. We'll be right back. It's Jay Martin and Moan, 104.5 The Zone. starting to think my golf lesson got rescheduled from yesterday to today. GoLongTD.com. We're going to do this real fast, and then we'll do our Toyota keys to the game. They just put up a deep dive story on Mike Vrabel.
Nice.
GoLongTD.com from Bob McGinn. I'll read this to you because I think you'll find it funny. It says, so many Vrabel stories in this I think folks will enjoy. Bob pulled this one from his convo with Belichick in 08. The Patriots' improbable run to the AFC East title was followed by gripping playoff victories over Oakland in the snow and overtime and at Pittsburgh. Led to New Orleans in a date against the Rams, who were a 14-point favorite. The teams in the 36th Super Bowl didn't have an extra week to prepare. On defense, the entire plan was based on hitting Marshall Faulk wherever he went. To that end, the player on the scout team impersonating Faulk wore a green jersey while the 4 other skill position players wore yellow. This is Belichick in 08. Every play when we came out of the huddle, I'd be screaming, where is he? Where is he? Then he'd shift, and I'd go, where is he? Where is he? By Thursday, Mike Vrabel turns around and he says, hey, Bill, the son of a bitch is in a green jersey. Will you shut the bleep up? I said to myself, I think I'm getting through.
Man.
Looking forward to reading that whole piece. Maybe we need to get Ty on next week.
Well, I tried to get Ty on today, but he couldn't come on. So
our subscription just ended. Our annual subscription to Go Home TD just ended too. Might need to re-up that bad boy.
Needs to quit turning me down then.
See your local Toyota dealer. Check out the adventurous new Toyota RAV4. Street savvy and off-road capable RAV4 has redefined what a compact SUV can be. For all Toyota offers, it's buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Toyota keys to the game. Sunday, Titans, Jags. You'll hear it on the Zone, beginning with League Company Countdown to Kickoff, hosted by the man you just heard, Buck Reising, the man you will hear again at the top of the hour, Buck Reising, on the Buck Reising Show. So, Moan, Titans, Jags. I would say number one key is don't make mistakes and sit around because they're going to. The Jags are going to make mistakes.
Yep.
As long as you don't match those mistakes, you're going to win this game, and you're probably going to win it easily.
Mm-hmm. Really good point. Like I said, they're a bad team for reasons because they make those mistakes like that, and you got to be the big dog in this division, so take advantage of it. My key, Jay, to this game would be defense, get back on schedule too. As the offense is trying to figure out what they're doing and how they're going to go about, being without Derrick Henry and AJ, you get Julio back, so there's still a learning curve there. My key would be defense. Do the job. You got a young quarterback. Confuse him. Hit him. Break down that offensive line. They're going to try to run the ball. We know that. They're going to try to because that keeps the pressure off of the quarterback. So, defense, step up. More.
Trying to think what the third one is. I just think it's Tannehill playing better.
Yep, you heard Buck say it.
He's right. Like, I know you can make a lot of excuses for it, and some of them are valid.
Mm-hmm.
But you're being paid a lot of money to be QB1 if you're Ryan Tannehill. They have believed in you. They paid money to bring Julio Jones here. They know that you can get the job done. You know you can get the job done. If you listen to his comments, he knows.
Very confident.
He's got to play better. He can't turn the ball over. He can't lay it on the ground, and he can't miss throws. When you miss Chester Rogers against the Patriots, that might be the only time you have him open down the field to make that play. You got to make it count. You can't overthrow it. You can't do those kinds of things. You got to stand tall in the pocket and do the Ryan Tannehill stuff that we've seen you do. So I think 17, looking like 17 for the Titans again, has to be number 3. In a win, I think you got to get Ryan Tannehill feeling good before you go to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Tyler Dunn texted me. Thanks for sharing. I owe you guys.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. That's what we do.
We all got the Titans this week, right?
Yeah, easy.
Yep.
Light work.
Yep.
There it is. You'll hear it right here on the Zone on Sunday, beginning with Buck Reising.
Yeah!
We finish up on Fridays during the season the same way. Enjoy Macho Man Todd Titan.
Oh, yeah, great to be back, yeah. Feeling healthy and fresh, yeah. But let me start by just saying the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he does not exist. But Jacksonville, you will find out that we are as real as it gets, yeah. When we're looking you dead in the eye, and the rest of the league and the entire world will not even take notice, yeah. Because on Sunday, the Titans start the final 5-game stretch run, yeah, where the rubber meets the road. Most important part of the season, yeah. In Jacksonville, you are number 1 on our hit list right now. Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, you've had your cup of coffee, man. You've had your cup of coffee in the big time, and it's back to the kiddie table for you because we own you, Jacksonville. So much so they're renaming your city Titanville because we own you that much, and we dominate you every single week. Every single time we play you, yeah, and we're going to sweep you right out of 2021 and on into the new year and ride that momentum into the next year and the next week into the playoffs and futures to come. It's time to tighten up. Dig it.